Rolling like a geezer.
Welcome one, welcome all, welcome young and welcome old. It's Graybeards Studio. This is episode 35. Today we're tackling the legendary Alex Raymond. We'll be talking to Gary about that in just a minute. You are watching the greatest draw stream on the internet, and we're glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. We couldn't do this show without you, of course, but we couldn't also do it without all the co-hosts that are involved in this thing. So let's bring them on in. First of all, everybody, welcome, a warm welcome for Mr. David Williams.
Yeah,
David Williams.
That's right. Were you reading my mind? I was going to say that. You ruined my intro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Here's David.
No. You got it. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well in the chat.
You have some cool art. We're going to take a closer look at this and an explanation of what that is shortly. But let's bring in the guy who is responsible for today's topic. He's older than most. He's Gary Martin. Here he is.
In your opening film with the theme song of, You're Old, I was thinking, well, at least I'm not as old as that guy.
Maybe we are.
I am.
I know, maybe we are. You see people on the street and you go, wow, that guy looks older. I'm glad I'm not that old. And you go, wait a minute, I just might be that old.
Yep.
So,
or that person's just on crack.
Now, here's a guy who's aging rapid. He's not as old as the rest of us, but he's aging rapidly. Kelsey Shannon.
Let me give this like 5 more minutes and then I'm out of here. Oh, okay, finally. Thank you. Jesus.
Oh,
hello.
Working hard at prolonging your life.
Oh my goodness.
Morning or afternoon, whatever this is.
Whatever it is. Hey, I just got out of the shower minutes ago. I'm like, why am I so warm? It's like I just got out of the shower. I shaved. I prepared myself.
It's like George. It didn't take.
Yeah, I'll say. Still look like crap.
I know. Well, it's like levels of crap, right? So it's like it doesn't look good, but it looked a lot worse.
All I got to do is worry about my manicure. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. So you protect yours. You got those youthful-looking Palmolive hands.
I dipped in it. Hey, Madge, I dipped in it.
Oh, well, you're definitely old.
You're soaking in it.
Yeah, there's an old reference. I fit on this show.
No, it's. Can you imagine going to get your nails done and somebody, they're soaking your hands in dishwashing liquid? You pay for that? Is that a service you pay for? I don't know. All right, Gary, we were having this conversation and it was getting a little heated backstage.
Okay, bring it on.
I thought, why don't we save this for being on air? So I was just bringing up that Kelsey has this ability to sort of pick categories that seems to draw in the larger audience. While Gary, on the other hand, seems to pick categories for the us crowd, and that's hard. So, Gary, give me your justification for your picks this week, your category picks this week.
All I'm trying to do is elevate you Philistines. We had to have a palate cleanser after last week.
I'm picking Joe Mad, Jeff Scott Campbell, and who else for next time?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I like those guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Last week we had our biggest audience ever, and that's when we were drawing Liefeld characters. And Jerry goes polar opposite and goes Alex Raymond.
But I think that's a good thing. No, I'm going to back Gary up on this. I think that's a good thing because you need a little palate cleanser. You need to go, why do I want Rob Liefeld? Oh, because Gary picked last week. Yeah, I need something. I need something to
That's
kind of
right.
jazz me up.
That's right. Citizen Ronan's got my back.
Gary equals culture, he says. Okay. Well, let me, since you brought that up, let me go through the chat here real quick and see who has joined us so far. Joseph Dredd is here, says, Hail Graybeards. Dan the Pizza Man Genovese is here. Brian Rubinacher is here. Yeah, I got that right. Repairman Jack. Kevin Thomas. Gonna miss this one.
Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, thank you for letting us know you won't be watching. Squibs is here.
That's one you owe me. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Henry Bemis, all the way from Oregon. Citizen Ronan, of course, you just mentioned him. The Art and Times of Jay Ryan. Welcome to Grumpy Old Men Drawing Things. Well, one of us is grumpy. The rest, are probably better.
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, Kelsey's indifferent. Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Hendon Schnelly is here. Philip Owen, this is cool. Need to try to be here for it. Side note, I'm going to be doing a short video this October on where Alex Raymond had his car accident and pay respects to his grave. And
oh, wow.
Really?
Philip Owen, thank you.
Now, see, now that's hardcore.
That is.
Mhm.
That is. Schism's here. He says, Mr. Lopez, be late today, it seems. Oh, in other words, he's blaming this on me because I had to chastise Gary before we went on the air. And suddenly that's my fault.
Oh, it wasn't the
Yeah, but
shower like 5 minutes before.
But Aaron, you do that every week. So why do you use an excuse?
Daniel Russell says, Aaron, waiting on Aaron probably fell asleep in his applesauce again. Oh, that's so freaking hilarious. Right out of the gate. Ruby Jade 90 is here. Let's see who else. Ignite is here, like that. Robert the Bruce. Hidden Hand Media. That seems very I don't know what that seems like, but it made me uncomfortable reading it out loud. David Pentecost, Comic Book Art. He says, my favorite show of the interwebs. Thank you, sir. Tarks9, all the way from Canada, is here. George Liqueur. Alien Dance Party Engaged. I think he's talking about David's light show. Ronan, not to be confused with Citizen Ronan, is also here. He says, I hate it when a shower doesn't take. So he's back. Gary used that joke on me before we came live, and now I'm getting it from the chat as well. Ryo Stu is here. Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here. J.G. Martinez is here. Brian Norton. Kevin Wolf. Let's see. Who else? Gray Wolf Graphics. Comics Legends is here. Any words on the passing of artist inker Dan Green? Gary, did you know Dan?
That's a bummer.
Obviously I knew his work. I never met him, but he was a guy that I looked at, and that's a select group. So I think that's the highest praise I can give him as an artist.
Yeah, the one he surprised me because he was in a portfolio back in the 70s with Wrightson. And
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Was it I think it was the Edgar Rice Burroughs portfolio, and he did it was either Carson of Venus or Tanner of Polluster. I can't remember. It was a really nice piece, and I thought, wow, I didn't know this. Because back then a lot of the inkers could draw really well, and he was one of them. He could draw. And
did anybody know him personally? Anybody in the chat or on the show?
Nope.
No, I know that. I think Richard Friend knew him. We were trying to get him on the show because he's absolutely my favorite inker on Mark Silvestri.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
And yeah, him meant a lot to me. I've always been chasing that style that he has. That's fast yet everything seems to be there in the right place. I don't know how he does it, but he was amazing.
Yeah, I would agree. Like the Joe Rubenstein kind of thing.
Yeah, he like played jazz with ink.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
He'll be missed.
Yeah, that's true, and it's kind of sad as we are getting along here in years that we're starting to lose people that we admired, growing up, and in some cases were our contemporaries. So it's Reality's
Yep.
a harsh mistress.
You're
Yeah,
next,
he-
Aaron. I'll miss you.
You guys will be waiting backstage, and I just won't show up.
Yeah,
Well, must be gone now.
Kelsey, that was well said that he played jazz with inks. I'm thinking that I probably like bang on garbage can lids with inks.
Yeah. No, you're like an architect of ink. You know, I don't know. It's like if we're gonna put it in music, I guess you would be like Joe Satriani or something.
Like a Art Vandelay fake architect.
Those Vandelay Enterprises. Creative Face says, you skipped my comment, Aaron. Oh, well, but I didn't skip this one. So your Creative Face, you can go ahead and say it again, and maybe I'll catch it this time. But
Well, that would have been a major burn to skip the comment that's commenting that you skipped his comment.
Yeah, right.
actually, it's a her. Let's not misgender anybody.
Yeah.
All right. So before we dive headlong into this interesting topic of today, let's go around and do a little show and tell. I had a really angry Photoshop moment that I will get to in a minute. Let's start with
The Photoshop mad at you?
Nah, I'm mad at Photoshop. It may be mad at me as well.
Photoshop is also indifferent.
Oh, wait a minute. No, hang on a second. Creative Face says, I'm not a dirty white boy anymore. Oh, I guess referring to my shower. Apparently, I was a dirty white boy. Who sang that?
I don't know.
It's,
I don't know, but I don't like it.
Prefer my white boys clean.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Clean
All
up,
right.
white boy.
David, what is this?
It's your character. You tell people.
All
What's
right.
wrong with it?
I got some trading cards coming up in for my next campaign, the Kit Carter graphic novel, and I was like, I need to get David to do some trading cards for me. So this is Imperious. Those of you who backed Wraith of God, the graphic novel, the first one, would have got a sticker, part of the sticker set that came with that of Imperious. And he's sort of a major player as we move on through the Lopresti-verse. So I thought, man, we better get a card of him out there soon. And I thought, who would draw kind of a really sort of cool galactic superhero, spectre-y kind of guy? And I thought, David's the man. So I got him to do that for me. And that will be
I was thinking Alex Toth. Well, David will do.
Yeah.
David,
That's cool looking.
how many trading cards have you done in your career?
Oh,
A ton.
yeah,
3,
yeah.
4.
No, probably about 50.
Wow.
Because I've inked a ton, and that was just scratching the surface.
How many prelims do you have of this? That's another question.
Just 3.
Now, see, I told him, I said, hey, because the character has like these sort of tattoo markings on him that I'm going to put in the color. But I said, David, just show me your pencil. I told him basically what I want. I wanted kind of a Doctor Strange kind of thing with the guy reaching out, kind of dynamic. And I said, let me see your tattoo designs on there so we know that they're correct before you go forward with your inks. And he took that to mean, do multiple sketches. And I was like, I saw this. I'm like, dude, what did you do so many drawings for? And he said, well, you wanted them. I said, no, I didn't. And so we got extra work out of him. But and that, of course, was the first drawing, right, that you did. It was
this one was the first one. But so you'll have a nice, originals, when I mail them to you. So
there you go.
I like the Street Fighter one where he's like Hadouken.
Yeah, me too. I thought he was going to pick this one for sure.
Yeah, well,
I like the bigger hand coming towards you.
Yeah.
So that's very, very cool. I'm very pleased with that. So,
and I got this. I dug this up.
Nice.
This was a cover that I did for IDW of Judge Dredd, and Bill Sienkiewicz did the inks, and I sent you the prelims and the final inks that Bill did and the color in your Twitter, Aaron.
It cracks me up that they pair him with artists like you or like Rodolfo DiMaggio instead of like Alex Maleev or somebody that that style would be more appropriate on.
Well, I asked for him. I asked for him specifically because they wanted me to do some covers, and I had just met Bill, and we were talking, and he was saying how much he liked my stuff, and I said, well, what do you think of my artwork? And then you guys will catch that later.
There it is.
Yeah.
He likes your style.
And I said, would you want to ink some dread covers that I'm doing? He said, oh, absolutely. And I was supposed to get a bunch of them, but it didn't happen. But we did this one together, and that
actually looks great.
Piece. Yeah,
right? Really, really cool.
So he didn't go too far off the reservation with it. I thought he was going to go even crazier, wackier, but no.
Yeah, no, that appropriate because it holds your forms and your shadows and stuff, but it definitely loosens it all up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dig it.
Okay, let's take a look at the colors now. Who did the coloring on this?
Well, they had one of their in-house
I thought they did
colorists.
A pretty good job on it. Here it is.
There you go.
Oh,
Kelsey's all,
yeah.
How dare anybody color you except for me?
Yeah, not impressed.
Completely different.
Really? You don't like that?
Serviceable. It's good. It works. I'm like a jealous ex when it comes to David's work, man. I don't want to see nobody else on him.
You and me both.
I mean, you do. Someone did. Dad's Den of Pop Culture says you lose the inks and the colors. It's true, but that a lot of times that happens, especially
It's
with
really
modern color.
Yeah. Well, this guy's adding a lot of K values. Let's go see where it goes into the black. He just goes to black.
Yeah.
And then you lose the edge of where the ink is. Never go to black. Never bet on black.
Once you go
black or white,
black, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the ultimate K value should be the ink.
Yeah. The original pencils are for sale, by the way, if anybody's interested. And also last week I forgot to show you my Green Lantern from the previous week. Oh. That I finished, that I sent you. And then we were also talking about Sal Buscema, and I put in the Hulk cover that I was inspired by Sal, not John, but Sal Buscema's Hulk to do a cover. So you could show all that good stuff too.
Well, you got all kinds of stuff.
Here's the Green Lantern coming right up on your screen. There it is. You got another out of Kelsey.
That was the ink dyes, a little bit of marker and watercolor background.
I approve that there's no lens flares in it. I know you love your lens flare. I appreciate the lack of lens flare. What about the other one? There was another piece that you did, I think last week. Did you ever finish that?
Which one was that?
No, there was a good one in there somewhere.
That was a good one. Show the good one.
The Liefeld? No, that's coming next week.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. It was Cable. I've been looking forward to seeing how that came out. Okay.
There's a 2-week delay on these. You know that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So then you want to show the Hulk?
Ooh. Hulk.
Right.
Sal Buscema Hulk.
Well, Sal Buscema inspired Hulk.
Inspired.
I need to go look at some of his Hulk. Everybody seems to. Ooh, wow. Wow, that was a much better ooh you got from me on that one.
Yeah, right. Coloring. Kelsey's like,
Yeah, the coloring. Yeah, this man. Now I can think of how I'd color this.
Well, show the color. Show the color.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be happy with the colors.
Now
he's going to love it, and I'm going to look like a jerk.
Yeah, right. Just to be the contrarian.
That's right. Perfect.
As long as it's green.
There no pause. Instantaneous.
I can definitely separate him from the background. That's good. That's
I think the only thing I don't like about this Hulk is when he had that box haircut. It was like shaved on the side. I was like, but it was still Hulk nonetheless.
Yeah. And you don't rip on the Hulk, man. The Hulk rips on you.
But I was all into Sal at that moment. I was like, what would Sal be similar to?
I gotta go look at some Sal, man. Good stuff.
Well,
Does he draw like you? I'll definitely dig it.
I can't wait to color this Imperious piece that David did, so Kelsey can go. That looks great, Aaron.
You better bring the heat.
Colored. It's colored.
That's right.
I'm a very jealous colorist.
Okay, Gary, let's see what you got here. Can I? I'm showing this. Look at this.
That's a piece that I did. It's a portrait of my daughter in the Alphonse Mucha style.
Yeah.
And it's digitally colored. My intention was, it's big. It's like, I don't know, 18 by something. It's big, the original. And my intention was to watercolor on top of the original inks, but I messed up the inking. And so
you messed up inking? I don't believe.
Well, I mean, I had to use whiteout, and that so I couldn't watercolor it. So the original is still black and white, and this was colored digitally. And then I posted this, I don't know, a while back, and then I got a commission from a gentleman who wanted me to do the same thing with his two daughters.
Oh,
and so if you hold on a second.
Are you going to show it by hand, or are you going
to? Here. So this is like 18 by 24.
Wow.
That's crazy, dude.
Look at that.
Wow.
Man. Awesome.
Holy.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah, they're big. The hardest part, I had this conversation with David, is this inking the circle without making a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the hardest part. But the whole thing, I have to ink the whole thing without whiteout.
This is such a Gary exercise. I mean, it's like all that. Drive the rest of this nuts.
And here's one. Here's her sister.
That's
which
amazing.
Is fully inked and no mistakes.
Are you going to watercolor these since there's no mistakes?
Yes. Well, this one, so far, I'm halfway there. This one, no mistakes, and so it's ready for color.
Are you going to use the color inks or actual watercolor?
They're probably dyes or color inks. And I also just got a new set of gouache today, and so I don't know where I'm going to use it, but just in case.
You should do like a superhero series like that. Imagine like a Wonder Woman or a, Huntress or something like that.
I thought about doing that. Like Adam Hughes did one of Ghost.
Yeah.
In the Mucha style for Dark Horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He did.
Cover, I think it was.
Yeah, those are great. No, look, if you mix the color right, you can use the gouache for correction.
Okay, well that's what I'm getting. So you see, this is a lot of detailed inking that I can't mess up.
Yeah.
Let us know how that goes.
I know.
Don't cough or sneeze.
Yeah.
That's
very
great.
cool.
Gary. The chat's blowing up. They're absolutely fantastic. Gary, friggin' gold tier or God tier, excuse me. Gary, great. That's amazing. Why is Gary so old? That has nothing
That's not in the chat. You just said that.
What?
Why is he so old? That's what
What a canon, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron reading my compliments in the chat is like bitter ashes in his mouth.
Yeah.
Gotta throw in.
Speaking of bitter ashes, here's the ambivalent one. Kelsey, what have you got to show us?
Well, this last week's piece where I totally won the day, obviously. Right?
That wasn't last week's piece.
Liar.
What? I totally recall doing this last week, and I was
recall that
thrilled that I won because you guys didn't come with your A game. So there's
I love that
oh,
piece. It'd be nice if
What
you had
category? What category was this again?
my fantasy.
That was life.
Electra ass assassin.
Yeah. I can't get my light right. Oh my god, it's blinding. So there you go. That's what I got to show off today.
That's nice. That was that a commission, or you just do it for exercise?
No, I've been doing a lot of stuff in digital, and it drives me crazy after a while. And I just have to do something by hand. So I took a couple hours one night and just was watching TV and doodling basically. And then it goes from sketch to like, oh, this is actually something. And I just kept going. Yeah. And that's when I start messing up. But ooh, I'm gonna make something of this. Oh.
I really like the baggy socks. It's like the kind of socks I wear around my house.
Yeah, I love that. No, I do. It gives it like texture. I love that.
Yeah.
Hidden Hand Media says he put the ass in Assassin.
Yeah. Look, you could see where I put a lot of effort in it, and peeled up the paper. Peeled up the paper.
Media is piling up.
Focused there.
Yeah. But came out pretty good. I was happy.
Famous booties from history. That Electra is great.
What did you do it with? What?
Well, it's just the zebra pins like these for the ink line. Where's the focus? Anyway, zebra pins like these, and for all the line work, and some brush pen to give like some of the really crazy edges and stuff. I love when it dries out, you almost get like a dry brush effect in places. And then watercolor, and then some gouache bits, like you could see where I was trying to do the technique of that guy you were showing me the other week. Chris something, what was his name?
Chris Stevens.
Chris Stevens, but he uses marker and acrylic. Right. And I was wanting to, I wonder if I could do the same effect with watercolor and gouache, but you have to be as good an artist as him to get some of those results. Yeah, but I think I got close. Maybe.
Joseph Dredd says it's better than the Marvel Electra movie. So you got that going for you, which is nice.
Oh, thanks. High marks. Ooh, that was a good movie, right?
All right, so I have some stuff. Let me first show you the finished work from last week, which David and Kelsey apparently are not doing, but I'm not afraid. I'm going to do it.
That one will never see the light of day ever again.
Red Rock.
Here we go. I just juiced up the reds a little bit, taking a cue from Kelsey, and a little bit
actually
of
red.
Huh?
It's actually red. Look at that.
Oh, how about that? So anyway, that was Bad Rock from last week.
Now fix the rest of it.
Yeah.
I've only got so much time, man. I've only got so much time. All right, if I can bring up my screen, I will show you what I've been working on. Now Kelsey can go, that looks nice.
He's all, that's cute.
Colored more David stuff?
Nice. No, I didn't touch David's stuff. Hey,
okay, good. Then it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I saw this online. I've been
working on coloring my last remaining pages of the Kit Carter story so we can get this book to the printer. And I got to ask you, Kelsey, how long?
How am I so good?
Just well, not only that,
talent.
But what? It's just talent. Man. How long does it take you to do a page?
Coloring?
Yeah.
Oh, day 2 tops, right? Okay. No, it takes me a long time to color. I don't know what the heck.
I know.
I put more into the coloring than I do in the drawing, honestly.
I do too.
Yeah.
And what I do when I color, and one of the reasons it takes me so long, I don't know about you, but I go in and create shapes with this color And so I'm like drawing with the color over the top of the drawing rather than just like putting in fades and stuff and moving on. And as you can see, like the shadows here, this is all like me using the lasso tool to create this shape and then putting it in with a fade and putting in the, you know, the highlights and that kind of stuff. And so I end up like redrawing over the top of this with color rather than these guys that just kind of can just blow through this and do 3 or 4 pages a day. It's like, I don't understand how that works.
Well, a lot of those guys have a set technique, and we don't do enough of it, I think, to have like a set. Plus, we change things, or at least I do. I change technique constantly depending on what artist I'm working on. So it takes time to figure that out as well.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, you're doing the same thing. I mean, I would do the same thing. I use the pencil tool more now. And penciling in, and then I airbrush it just because it's faster as a pencil, as a guy that draws. It just seems to be faster for me to just draw it in real quickly. But then I'll airbrush. Like, I can't just draw ink or color like a darker color for the shadow. I have to like put purple or blue and get fancy with it. Oh, let me throw in green right here. Oh, like, you know, and I get all fancy with it, and then that's also takes a lot of time.
Get all fancy pants. Okay, let me tell you my horror story. As I'm working on this page, I got to this level where I'm almost done with it. I still have to do some stuff on Kit's face here, and but I was doing panel by panel, right? And I pulled back, and there was this diagonal gray layer all the way across half the page. Just ran just like that, and I'm like, where did that come from? And that's the thing with Photoshop is you can be like pushing a button over here, but your elbow accidentally hits another button that you don't know. It does something, and you have no idea what it just did, how you did it, or how to get rid of it. And so I thought, well, I'm going to have to go through history and find out when this happened, and I'll just go back to that point and start over from where it wasn't in the history. So it had been there for like a long time. And I was like, how do I get rid of this? So
the hard way.
Well, what I ended up doing was I took the lasso tool and took the angular magnetic one, and I an angle. I covered that straight line that was across here like this, and then went into levels and adjusted it until they matched. And then I still have a little bit of a white line there and there that I couldn't get rid of that I'll be able to fix. But then these were still felt too dark to me. So then I lassoed all these panels here and then went into adjusted it and lightened it to where it was supposed to be. But I was freaking out.
Do you work in layers?
No, I work in channels.
Oh, okay. I got to where working in the mainstream, they'd have you do corrections upon corrections upon corrections upon corrections. I got to where I wouldn't throw down a single color unless it was on its own layer that I can go in and control every color individually on every part. Just because they've hassled me so much. I have like PTSD as far as editorial goes. So if you'd had it on different layers, you'd have been easy to find the layer and
right. Well, what I do is, and this is I guess old school now because I got Chiarello's book, you know.
Oh yeah.
And this is what I've used as my guide to learn how to, the technical aspects of the coloring. And so everything in there is channels. And what I do is every time I make a color, a choice of someone's uniform, skin tone, whatever, I make a mask of that and make a new channel and just put that in as a gray. And then I can go in and activate that if I need to change like the entire color of somebody's face or just you go in and mess with a certain part of the costume or whatever. So it works kind of like layers, but I understand.
The only thing I ever use channels for is to save my flats. Or used to. Now I just throw it on another layer. But I rarely ever use channels anymore. That's very old school.
Yeah, I'm archaic. I guess I need to get the new version, the updated version, because
like Procreate. I've been messing with that lately. That doesn't even have channels. It's like certain things that it doesn't even. It makes you want to color in like a whole new way. So I think that some of these ways are getting old. Oh, am I boring you? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this conversation is making me sleepy.
This is what I like. He's like, how do I color? And I'm like, well, first you got to do this. And he's like, you color it.
Yeah, right. That's how it goes. I gotta learn something. I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a sandwich. Let me know when Kelsey's done talking.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, Gary, did you say something? Sorry.
Yeah, it's time to draw.
Oh,
Look
I
at
forgot
that.
what we were doing.
I think you're stalling.
Okay, so we're doing Alex
What are we
Raymond,
doing?
and the choice with Alex is you've got like I'm counting the fact that he did some movie posters too, and but his strips were Flash Gordon, Rip Kirby, Jungle Jim, and that's the only ones I'm
X9.
aware of. Am I missing something, Gary?
X9, Secret Agent
X9.
X9, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
X9. All right.
But that's similar to Rip Kirby.
But he also did the movie posters for the original Robin Hood with Errol Flynn.
Yeah, I think David is be all over that.
Yep, that's what he claims, and also Captain Blood, which might interest Kelsey. I don't know.
No.
No. Okay. And that's the show, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Honestly, I'm gonna do Rip Kirby. Everybody's favorite.
Did you see his Rip's blonde assistant?
Yes.
All right, enough said then.
Yes.
I'm going to do Rip. What's the guy? Time Master. What's his name? Rip something Time Master, isn't it? DC character. No, that just blew my jokes. I couldn't even remember his name. Not one of those guys. Is it like Rip Taylor? No, is it Rip?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Aaron, Phil has a $2 super chat. I will pay you $2 not to read it.
$2. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate it. I just wanted to say that Gary's picks were horrible.
Gary, it'll cost you $4 not to read it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You bid too low.
But yeah.
Let's see. Kino reviews for $5. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Kelsey, extra challenge for you to use only Procreate.
Oh yeah. Can I get away with that?
I don't know.
I don't have it hooked up right now. Dang it.
Art
Maybe
Nouveau
next
says
time.
it should have been Milton Caniff. So at least he knows who Milton Caniff is.
Yes, he gets points for that.
Who's that?
Kevin Wolf says Rip dates younger girls like Reed Richards.
Yeah. Yep.
What are you guys doing?
Squibs has a quote. I'm sorry. Squibs says, channels, you've wasted your life, Kelsey.
Kelsey, I'm not using channels. I use layers.
No, that's
Aaron.
you telling me basically that I've wasted my life.
Oh yeah.
So, Aaron, what are you drawing?
I'm going to draw Dale What's-Her-Face from Flash Gordon.
Okay.
Arden.
Dale, what's her face?
Good old Dale. You know Dale. Dale Keown from Flash Gordon. You know him. I'm going to have to go get my Alex Raymond book, though. You guys can get started without me. I'll
No cheating.
I'm kidding. Because I did get some new stuff. I was watching.
Oh, you should show us.
I was watching Finch's live stream.
Oh yeah.
And
Kelsey got to see that.
Yeah. So he
What?
was
Finch's
using,
live stream? What?
Yeah, David Finch's live stream he was painting something, and I
I
found
gotta see
out
it.
that he uses like 90% colored pencil and about 10% acrylic. So, but anyway, he was
Whoa.
using this as an ink pen, this brush pen, this Pentel brush pen. Now, it came to me in a package with nothing but Japanese writing on it. Okay, here's the package, right? So definitely made in Japan, all the way, baby. And I'm like, okay, well, how hard can a brush pen be to use? So I, took it off and I was like doing this and I was squeezing it and nothing's coming out. So I actually watched a video where you're supposed to take this thing apart and remove the red ring like that. See a little Pac-Man in there, as the guy called it? I can't see that. It's too dark.
Yeah, we see it.
You know, I don't know if you're supposed to remove that or not, or just take off the red ring. So we're just going to take off the red ring and see if this works.
What's Aaron talking about?
David, I think they should go back to talking about coloring.
Yeah, right.
So you squeeze it, and am I supposed to take out the Pac-Man too? Does anybody know how to use these things?
Google it.
Oh my gosh!
I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, Aaron's on his ever elusive search for that perfect Wrightson tool.
But here's what I learned in a nutshell when watching the Finch's video is that he puts down this acrylic matte. David, what's it called?
What?
The Liquitex, the matte finish.
Yeah, you just call it. It's a Liquitex matte finish chemical, whatever.
So he inks the drawing, and then he sprays
Pencil, eraser, slide rule, Liquitex mass finish, whatever.
No, so then he sprays the surface, creating a new surface to work on and protects the ink. Then he paints just flat color over like he was doing a Green Goblin head, for example. So he did the hat purple and the face green in acrylic. And then he would, I can't remember if he started colored pencil or if he sprayed it again and then colored pencil. And then when the colored pencil gets too heavy where you can't work over the top of it anymore, he sprays it with the matte again, creating a new surface to work on. He's essentially creating these layers to work on, and it's freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Kelsey's finished.
Yep.
So
Just
I
about.
showed this, right? So you think about this clay face piece he did. This is like a brown acrylic down there, and then he just colored pencil everything else over the top, even the white
Really?
highlights. Because
The white highlights are also color pencil.
Yes, because he
Mm-hmm.
sprays it with the matte finish, and then so you can lay the white on it, and you get pure white over the top of it because you created a new surface to do the white on.
What kind of color pencils that give you good, rich color like that?
He was using just regular, like the ones that you get the Prisma.
Yeah,
Prismacolor. Okay.
Yeah. So it was amazing. So yeah,
It's because of the layers of that Liquitex that he was spraying on there. It was creating a texture in a film, so it picks up the waxy pencil real good. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like he could spray over it again if he didn't like an area, and then draw over that with it, and it just and it goes over flat, almost like what Dan Lawless does on that vellum that he uses.
Yeah.
It creates that. It's doing that every time you spray it. You know, it's amazing, and it looks like a painting.
Yeah. Are you gonna try it, David?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I've been imagining the things I'm gonna do. I'm like, oh, I'm finna level up like a mug.
You gonna try it? You gonna try it, Aaron?
Yes, absolutely I am. Because the idea of being able to do that on colored pencil with colored pencil, it's more natural to us because that's what we do most of the time is draw.
Right.
Right. And so instead of fighting with the paint to try and get that, you do it with a colored pencil, which is more natural. And you wouldn't know that it was colored pencil by looking at, I mean, I've got the original sitting right here and I didn't know there was that much colored pencil on it. I thought it was all paint. And it was just like, wow, he really got some really nice, soft, edges on this paint, and it's all colored pencil.
And it won't work without that Liquitex.
Yeah,
thing.
no.
Yeah, it's a matte medium. That's what the word I was looking for was medium, matte medium, and he mixes it half and half with airbrush medium from Liquitex, so it'll flow through the gun bed or the airbrush gun, and it just sprays it on there, lets it dry, then starts working. Sprays it on, lets it dry, starts working, and it dries.
But he has an airbrush gun. See, that's another.
Yeah,
yeah, but he said Sienkiewicz uses the stuff and rolls it on with a roller.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Didn't you say it took him years to figure out this technique?
He said he'd been working on it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
But he
What's
made
his
the
time?
joke that you got all these guys doing this stuff and no one tells anybody how to do it. So we're all sort of like scrambled to figure out how to, you know. And that was like the benefit of going to the Art Institute in Chicago or whatever back in the day when, you know, they actually taught stuff.
Yeah. Well, they tell everybody else. They just don't tell you.
Right. Exactly. So
What
I go to film
what-
school. I go to art school and learned all this stuff.
what video is this? Can we see this? Like
Yeah,
we don't
if
have to
you-
watch it here, but like, can somebody post a link? I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just look up David Finch on YouTube and it comes right up. It's got a big green goblin head. It's like his last video he just posted.
Oh, okay. Right on. All
So
right.
I highly recommend it. So
David, what are you going to draw?
I'm doing Robin Hood.
Okay, ready? Go.
Yeah, I'm looking for my reference.
A classic Alex Raymond character, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he did the
Hey.
movie, so it counts.
He touched it.
Kelsey, you might be interested in this. Raymond is the artist that Rude wanted me to study before I started inking him on Nexus.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because that's the Rip Kirby stuff. That's what he wanted me to try to achieve.
Is it? I mean, like, is it because does it have that bit of like dry brushing in there or something? Or like,
yeah,
what
it was loose. It was controlled. It had dry brush. I mean, just a
Yeah.
lot of elements that he wanted in his inks.
What time period does Rip Kirby take place in?
It was a
19
50s.
Probably in the like 40s.
Yeah, the
50s?
40s, right?
Was it the 40s?
I'm sure it was made in the 60s or something, right? When was Alex
But
Raymond?
it's like 40s or 50s, I'm guessing. Chat, help us out here.
Now, where's Marcus Killigrew when you need him?
But it's
Yeah, Marcus.
it's film noir type stuff.
Yeah. All right. I'm looking for 1940s lingerie. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody knows a site
Alrighty.
I got to use for reference, let me know.
I'm not sure it's as hot as our current lingerie, but
What was
Pretty
his blonde assistant's name? Pepper or something like that?
oh, who cares?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it's not just her. There was a lot of like
Yeah, there were
femme
dames throughout.
fatales. Yeah.
Yep.
So was Rip Kirby? I've never read the strip. Was he like a private eye or something, or what's the deal?
Yeah,
with that?
yeah.
Okay.
Was that? Yeah. I just recently, well, a couple of years ago, was reading some interviews of his, and he talked about his process of the art style of Flash Gordon, and that was pre-World War II. And then he went into the service, into the Navy, and illustrated like crazy while he was in the Navy. And then when he got out, he started Rip Kirby. And if you look at both of those strips, the art style is completely different.
Oh yeah.
Not just the subject matter, his drawing, his inking technique is it's completely different. And him forcing himself to do stuff. Basically, he took himself to school while he was in the Navy. He taught himself to be a better artist just by drawing like a maniac. And if you look at any of his books, and they publish some of his drawings when he was in the service, they're amazing. And some of them are color pencil, some of them are watercolor, a lot of pencil drawings, very like realistic studies and things like that. And then you look at his Rip Kirby stuff compared to the Flash Gordon, like I said, it's completely different.
Well, yeah, I think I made this comment on this show, might even have been last week, was that when his style changed, very similar fashion to, who's the guy that worked with Frazetta at EC?
Sprinkle.
No. Frazetta inked him a couple times, and he ended up doing a.
We're not talking about Al Williamson.
Yeah, I'm talking about Al Williamson. Al Williamson had a very sort of Alex Raymond-esque style in the 50s. Then when he started doing newspaper stuff, it got very different. Like Alex Raymond's, he almost, I mean, you look at him and it's almost like he was mirroring Alex Raymond's style and then his change in style.
Yep.
It was interesting. At least I thought so, Kelsey.
So what was it like for you guys reading this stuff in the paper when you were kids?
You know. You know, the only like throwback stuff that was still around, or old school stuff that was still around when I was reading newspaper strips when I was a kid was Prince Valiant. And I don't think Hal Foster was still drawing it though at that point.
Oh, okay.
Was he in like the early 70s? Would he have been drawing that still?
I think so. Early 70s. Okay. That was. I think I could be wrong. I think that was a transition.
And
were they new or
No,
when I was a kid, I mean, I would see old Prince Valiant in the paper, like they were redoing it. You know,
well,
like
that was your
my
Hayseed,
paper, yeah,
Hayseed paper, yeah.
My Hayseed, Dallas Fort Worth News,
yeah.
The Dallas Morning News,
yeah. But no, Raymond. I mean, Hal Foster drew Prince Valiant until he retired.
Gary Gianni took over for a minute, didn't he?
Yeah, for a little while.
That was much later, though.
Like, yeah, that's 80s,
the 90s.
Well, I think Mark Schultz is still writing it. Like he was writing it with Gary Gianni, and I think he's still doing it. But they got a different artist, I think. Can you imagine him drawing Prince Valiant? That'd be insane.
Well, it would have to be a monthly.
Monthly. It'd have to be like every 3 years you get one panel.
Oh my God.
We used to like really wonder about him, and I met someone that knew him. Yeah, Schultz, because they were like, "Why isn't he doing more work or whatever?" And I was like, "Is he lazy?" And I knew somebody that knew him was like, "No. He's like when we go to dinner." He's like the last one to choose what he wants to eat. Like he's really picky about what he wants. So very thorough.
That is true. The thing with Mark is he's working on Xenozoic Tales right now because he wants to get the one last great story in, before he retires, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
we all want to do that.
But he makes so stinking much money on his commissions. He's kind of like Arthur Adams or,
Travis.
Travis Stevens. These guys, they make more money in commissions, and so they're constantly doing these really high-end commissions and then working on the other stuff on the side. So that has a lot to do with, I think, the level of output.
Hold on a second. Marcus has a point. Where'd he go?
Sometimes that happens.
That's right. But where they say we put on a hat, it'll cover it up or something like that.
Marcus says that he missed 55 minutes and got back, and this is all you guys got done.
Well, we wanted to give you a chance to get caught up.
I've been drawing on this blank white sheet of paper for the last 20 minutes. Look at that.
Someone needs a cannonball. Don't be sassing us, boy.
All right, guys.
David, I don't think I've ever told anyone, especially a child, not to sass me.
Oh, I still tell my daughter that.
The modern parlance of our day.
Well, I said that when they were growing up. I say it now for comedic effect, right? My daughter's like, "Sass me." No one talks like that. And I go, "That's why I talk like this."
It's like that Dave Chappelle skit where his wife, is always bothering him when he wants to watch sports, so he puts on the Edward G. Robinson voice. He goes, "Man, what do you want?" Yeah. David, quit using that voice. What voice? What are you talking about? Yeah. This is my voice, see? Yeah. Stop talking to me this way. What way? Yeah.
I wonder if that would work.
He said he did it to a policeman. He's like, "What do you want, copper?" Yeah. Yeah. Sir, why are you talking this way? This is my voice, see? Yeah.
And then he's wondering why he's got a knee on his throat. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't do anything, see?
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Aaron,
So,
to
yeah.
change the subject,
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't catch on my nickname.
What did I miss? Did you
On
say
on
something?
the screen.
What do you
Oh,
got?
Gary Rigel Martin.
What is
What, a Star Trek reference?
like Rigel 7? Yeah, like
Yeah, I've got a Star Trek question for you, Aaron.
All right, lay it on me.
Track.
Rigel. Lay it on me, Rigel.
I kept, I probably hear that name for a planet, Rigel 7, more than any other planet named Rigel 7, Rigel 7. I was thinking, what happened to Rigel 1 through 6?
practice.
So there's got to be, there's got to be 7 Rigels out there.
Well,
So-
that could be the possibility, but also the way things get destroyed on Star Trek, they could have been,
They just kept renaming something get destroyed.
right
and
till
it's-
they got it right.
Okay, well, I just was wondering who this Rigel dude was. They named 7 planets after him. I mean, what do you have to achieve in your life to get 7 planets named after you?
Well, no, you
guy
misunderstand. There's a lot
must
of
have
damn
been-
planets.
Yeah, this guy must have been one badass.
Well,
Right?
So from now on, I want you guys to call me
Ah!
Rigel Martin.
Rigel Martin.
is
Pimp
that,
Rigel Martin.
I think Gary has a point though, because it's like, pardon me, Kelsey has a point that there's so many planets, it's like street names after a while, right?
Yeah, they've already been through Planet Martin, Planet Gary, Planet everything.
Yeah. So maybe it's just, out of convenience. The guy that discovered the planet, Jim Rigel.
Yeah.
I know, that's like Danville.
Danville.
That's like Danville. Hey, Dan, what do you want to name this new town? But there's 7 Rigels.
Well, that's sort of like when you see Junior's liquor store.
Yeah.
I mean, how many damn Juniors are there? They're everywhere. And they love liquor, man. Them Juniors love booze.
Your name's Junior, you got a drinking problem.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
Chris Thacker's got it right. Gary's pip name is Rigel Martin.
Right.
Oh, jeez. All right, you guys. So I went and saw The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh. That good, huh?
Well, no. It was kind of like that coloring over Sienkiewicz's ink job on TV.
Not okay. Serviceable, is that way?
Well, here's the thing. On very surface level, it was good. The acting was good. The makeup for the Dracula character was awesome. They portrayed Dracula as a monster rather than just some guy that sucks blood, and so it became a monster movie more than just a vampire flick. And that's why vampire movies bore me, is because I'm not interested in some guy in a tie romancing women and biting them in the neck. I want a monster. This dude was definitely a monster. The problem was
That's Kelsey's backstory right there. The guy in a tie romancing women.
But also a monster. I fit
fit
both.
No, but so the problem was they're on this Demeter for like 4 weeks, right? And they're slowly getting picked off by Dracula. And it's like, what are these guys doing during the day? It's like Dracula's
Sleeping
asleep.
one off.
Why aren't they killing him while he's asleep? Why don't they just? And it would go from one night to the next night to the next night. That's how the story was kind of. And so there was hardly any time these guys we showed them during the day. And you're like, you've got at least 12 hours to take care of this dude while he's asleep in his coffin. Why is it taking you so long to figure this out?
So they know it's him.
Well, they didn't at first, but they discover this girl who they think is a stowaway. And anyway, I won't spoil it for anybody that wants to go see it, but she's not a stowaway, and but she knows a lot about Dracula, so she's giving them information. Of course, they don't believe her until everybody starts turning up dead, and they're like, well, maybe she's onto something. And they wait until they search the ship for him right during the day, but there's all these crates that are being shipped from Romania, right? That are his crates. They never pop any of them open. They just, I can't find anybody hiding down here. Duh. And so as soon as you get close to the end, there's only a few guys left. They're like, oh, here's his coffin. It's like they find the box that he's sleeping in. They get it open. This is at night, right? So I don't know where Dracula's at this moment. Probably eating one of their friends. And so they open up the casket and they go, yes, this is where Dracula sleeps. And you're like, okay, they'll just wait here for him to come back. And then they'll get it, right? They'll put a stake in his heart or whatever they have to do. And although I will admit, none of them had a clue on how to kill a vampire. So that wasn't part of the mythology of it. You know, they were trying to shoot him with a gun and this stuff. They wouldn't have known putting a stake in his heart would kill him. But the fact that they found out where he was sleeping and then didn't do anything about it, like, well, let's stake out, pardon the expression, here until he comes back, and then we'll
stake out.
Right?
Well, but hold on. So did they know that he was powered by the night?
Well, they knew that everybody he bit, when they put him out in the sunlight, he burned up. So they're like, maybe that would be a clue. Okay. And also the fact that they were there at night and he's out hunting every night. He's not doing anything during the day. And this girl had information on him. She would have known this. And so the fact that they never even addressed this, I mean, they could have worked around it so that they figured out a way that they couldn't get rid of him, but at least they tried, you know?
Yeah.
The fact that they sort of ignored that whole thing and just, that was troublesome. But if you just ignore that and just kind of go with the flow, it was pretty good.
And Genovese says, quote, I don't want to spoil it, unquote, Lopez, as he proceeds to spoil it.
Spoil it, exactly, right?
And then he says, I missed it. A stake through the heart kills everybody, or something like that.
Hey, that's true.
That's
Hold
true.
on,
That is kind of funny.
I'm paraphrasing, Dan. Sorry, I can't find your.
Garlic does kill more than you think as well. You just breathe somebody sometimes.
So, if it is a monster movie, it was okay. It was better than House of Frankenstein, I can tell you that. Oh, gosh, that was horrible. Just went and saw a midnight showing of that.
I don't even remember that one. Who's in that?
Well, Boris Karloff plays the mad scientist.
Oh, it's an old one.
Yeah, the elder Carradine plays Dracula. Lon Chaney is the Wolfman.
Robert Carradine?
No, what's his name? The father, John Carradine.
John Carradine, yeah.
Yeah, he plays they didn't have Bela Lugosi for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe he was in drug rehab at the time. Because it was 1949. That would have been about the time that when did Ed Wood make his attempt to bring Bela Lugosi back?
Oh,
actually, those were in the 50s, right? The early 50s.
Yeah, I guess.
So I think, Bela Lugosi might have been in drug rehab or something at that time. So they used Carradine as Dracula.
What was Lugosi's personal story?
He loved crack.
What's that?
I've heard
he was
that, but not details.
He was a heroin junkie, right? I don't know why. Like, what led him into that? I don't know.
Hollywood.
Well, because like in that time period, heroin was like a plague in the jazz community. I mean,
right.
A lot of jazz musicians were addicted to heroin. But I mean, a lot of times people get into drugs for some reason, pain or, a lot of crap going on in their life. I don't know. So like, it could be, I mean, I just remember the movie Ed Wood where he was like, Karloff's not fit to hold my sack or whatever, you know.
Wow, that's a conversation that we had at the studio every time Wizard magazine came out.
What? You you mean why Aaron's not in the top 5?
Yeah. That guy can't hold my jockstrap. What's he in the top 10 for? Oh. Yeah, so that was so bad. And as a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, House of Frankenstein, it's got all the monsters in it. You know, it's like, oh, you know, can't wait to watch this. And as an adult, you're like, wow, how soon is this thing over? It was so bad.
Henry Bemis says that apparently he had severe back pain and became addicted to the morphine.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah.
The doctor prescribed. There you go. Thanks, Henry.
Yeah, it's always something.
Somebody always knows. So so I mean, it was so in comparison. I went and saw that like as a midnight movie here at a local theater, and then a couple days later, I went and saw the Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I was like, well, at least it's better than House of Frankenstein. So
money well spent.
Yeah. And, they also, I thought, was kind of dumb. I mean, everybody knows, well, most people, you know the legend of Dracula, you know that the Demeter, no one survives, right? That it's in the novel. The boat shows up derelict on the coast of England, you know, and only Dracula's on board or whatever. If you've seen Nosferatu, you've seen, you know. And so anyway, if you're familiar with Dracula, you know that the movie's about this voyage that we already know that nobody survives, or probably nobody survives. And if you don't know that, then why would you ruin that? And they start the movie with the shipwrecked, you know, like the police force or whatever they had there.
Oh, lame.
Covering the ship was there and wrecked and abandoned. And they found the captain's journal. Then they flash back to tell you what happened in the voyage. And I'm like, why do you need to do that?
They just took all the mystery out of it right at the beginning.
Exactly. So
lame.
Yeah, I didn't see the point in it at all. You know, other than they were, here's the captain's log.
Well, I mean, even in the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, like it starts off at not quite the end, but you know, I don't know if you've seen that movie. I don't know if the book is this way, but it starts off with Frankenstein like in Antarctica, and he runs into that guy who's
he's telling his backstory to the captain.
Yeah, and then that's before, like, you know, the monster gets to them and starts picking off their crew and all that, or I don't remember, but that would have been sweet.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, they build you up to that instead of, you know, like it's not like ending with Frankenstein having already killed everyone. You know,
yeah, that's like a Quentin Tarantino plot.
Yeah.
I want to back up a little bit. In the chat, Richie Cyber Dupe says, my father was one of the first infants to be diagnosed and treated for type 1 diabetes in 1954.
Wow.
Jeez.
They prescribe him heroin?
Yeah, we're just talking about old-timey affliction.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
1954, that now it's like almost everybody's got diabetes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can get into a whole discussion about, you know, why this country's so unhealthy, and you don't have to look too much farther than all the manufactured food that
yeah, please. Yeah. I get enough of that from my doctor. Thanks.
It's like, gosh darn it, I'm eating Doritos. I don't give a rip what you say.
Yeah. Well, that's fine, Kelsey. Just don't eat them every day, all day long. Try to eat some vegetables.
Yeah.
Don't make that the main meal.
Yeah.
Stick some lettuce in your mouth every once in a while.
I had Dorito casserole for dinner again tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I was actually, now that we're on this topic, I was amazed when I was in Germany, and you got a lot of beer over in Germany, and we stayed at this hotel, and you get up in the morning for like breakfast, and their breakfast isn't exactly like ours, but they had like salami, cheese, hard-boiled eggs, all this kind of stuff that for breakfast, I'm like, and yet you go out in the street and there's like no overweight people in Germany. And it's like, why is it, there's like obesity doesn't seem to be an issue here in this country. And I don't know, maybe because they walk everywhere or they don't, because they must eat the same crap we do, or at least to a certain degree.
Lots
A
of
few years
bratwurst.
ago, I think I mentioned this. I took a work vacation in Brazil, and all the Brazilians assumed I was German. No one thought I was an American until I spoke.
Why?
But you're
So I finally
funny.
asked them, why does everybody think I'm German and not American? And they said it's because you're not fat. I'm serious. They thought, Americans are fat, Germans aren't.
What about British?
Well,
Yeah,
No, nobody assumes anyone's British. What about Canadian?
no, I guess Canadians don't have the obesity stereotype.
There's only two kinds of people in this world: Germans and Americans.
Yes. Well, I mean, what I look like.
Let me see. Let me have a look.
Brazilians.
Dutch, maybe? Little Dutch.
Yeah, well,
oh no, he's definitely German.
Germans don't wear ball caps, do they? I would have seen the ball cap and immediately said American. This guy, you a truck driver? You must be a truck
actually,
driver.
I did wear caps in Brazil because of the sun.
Yeah.
It was hot.
I don't. Does anyone else in the rest of the world wear caps?
Oh yeah, they do. They wore them in Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. Okay, yeah, the Americas, I suppose, because you see Mexicans wearing them. I guess Brazil, which I never noticed before. Canada. Do we have hats in Canada? Do they wear hats?
Do they have hats?
Yeah. I just don't see a lot of
no, they
Japanese
do.
people wearing trucker hats.
No, they do. They're just made out of moose hide.
Hemp. Yeah.
Well, we're talking Canadians here, right? Not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Holy
Bless you, my
smokes.
son.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jordan Horth says, "I'm wearing one right now." Where are you from, Jordan?
Cincinnati.
And Neil Orr says, yeah. Neil Orr says, "I've never seen a picture of Giselle without a baseball cap." So in your face.
A picture of what?
Never mind.
Oh,
The German model, the supermodel.
oh! I thought. Okay, gotcha.
Spell it out for him, Gary.
Have you ever seen her eat a hamburger? That's the other thing. Hamburgers and baseball caps.
That I would like to see.
I wouldn't mind seeing Giselle eat a hamburger either. That sounds.
Didn't she
pretty
do one of those commercials eating a hamburger for
Carl's
Wendy's?
Jr.
Carl's Jr. I mean?
Carl's Jr. Of course.
Was she the one that did it?
Was it her?
I don't know.
It doesn't
Getting
matter.
all that kind of
Those are great
mayonnaise on her
commercials.
chest.
We're all.
I really want to eat at Carl's Jr.
Getting all that mayonnaise on her chest and stuff.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get my towel to wipe my face.
Actually, I like Carl's Jr. I think they have pretty good burgers.
Yeah, I do too. I concur.
You guys probably knew him personally. How old was he?
Hey, we're so
You guys had the first burger there.
Yeah, we walk in. Hey, Carl. Hey,
went to school with Carl back in the day.
how's your dad?
Yeah, you guys tried him out in his kitchen at his home. You know, hey, I think I want to try this for a living. What do you guys think?
I said, Carl,
You're
you're
all pretty good, man.
I guess I've never heard of such a thing as mass manufactured hamburgers, but whatever. All right, I think I'm time for some ink. I think
Yeah,
I'm ready
I'm
for
done.
ink.
Wait a minute, you're inking already?
I think so. I think I'm ready to ink.
Slow down,
What?
man. Slow down.
I've
I'm already finished.
Look at that. Look at that face. Look at Flynn's face. That's perfect.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect. And he's looking up, which is like the hardest angle to draw.
He's like, what's that smell? Little John, not again.
He's all, those mutton farts are terrible.
Oh, that was definitely blackbird pie. Oh,
Yeah.
Blackbird pie. Oh, yum. And that just rolled off your tongue. You didn't even have to think about it. That was your go-to pie, Blackbird. Oh, man.
I almost spit on my drawing. Kelsey.
Where would you even get enough blackbirds to make a pie? If I hunted for a week, I might find one. You got like the larder is full of blackbirds. Oh man!
Oh, there you go, blackbird pie right here. Get your
What
pie.
kind of restaurant is this? You ain't got no blackbird pie.
no, but we got key lime.
Oh, man. I bet you can go to a fair in Florida and get possum on a stick. But can you get blackbird pie? That's what I want to know. That's the question.
Oh,
I've had
Christina
snake.
has a point. She's asking if there's a nursery rhyme about blackbirds baked in a pie.
There is.
4 and 20, right?
Yeah, go figure.
So that's how many blackbirds it takes.
Well, was it 4 and 20 blackbirds baked into a pie? So that's 24
That's how
blackbirds.
many blackbirds it takes to make a pie. 24.
What was that? What was that? Was it Lifesaver, the lollipop commercial? Like, how many licks does it take to get to the
Yeah,
center of a
yeah.
Tootsie Pop? 1,
Yeah.
a 2, a 3. 3.
I don't know. I've never gotten through one of those in 3.
That's
Usually like
Without eating it first, right?
I measure that in like time. It takes me like 20 minutes maybe.
Hey, Aaron, show him I finished Errol Flynn that I sent you earlier.
Oh, see, this is the thing. David's already done this before, so it's almost like cheating.
Cheater.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Doesn't count. You lose.
And he's just like he's gonna, like, the lights are gonna go out and go, I lost electricity for a minute. He's gonna come back with his finished piece.
Did it by candlelight.
All right, hang on a second. He keeps sending me all these scans, man. It's just distracting me from the task at hand.
Oh, I didn't know that. Hold on, I got some stuff to send you.
Thank you.
yeah.
All
I
right,
want to share something too.
David Williams in a sketchbook doing Errol.
Wow.
Did that for my
Well.
buddy Mark Brooks.
Did you really?
To be fair, you just drew the hand holding the bow on one page, and he said, "Hey, finish it."
Yeah.
Seriously did that for Brooks?
Yeah.
So you still got it and he burned it.
Didn't you do one for him?
Who?
Me?
Me?
You, Kelsey.
No, I'm not.
I thought you did.
No. I didn't like my art that much.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, no, never did any, never asked. I would have. I'll still do you one. Mark, give me a call.
I'm sending this to him after. Right. But what's better than this movie?
What,
David,
better than Robin Hood?
Tell your story.
Commando.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah, Commando's better, but other than that,
wrong.
no, tell your story.
None of those guys could hold a candle to any of the people in Robin Hood who did all this
Don't
stunt
get-
work.
Please,
Predator.
I
Way
beg
better.
you, don't get David started on Robin Hood. I'm pleading.
Jackie Chan in what is it? Any movie.
Not even Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan would bow down to some of these guys and what they did. Did you see this movie, Kelsey?
What, Robin Hood?
The Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, the
Colin-
guys in that movie who were taking arrows to the chest, that wasn't a special effect. They were taking arrows to the chest. They hired this marksman to shoot these stuntmen who had a piece of plank wood on their chest, and he would shoot live real arrows into their chest.
See,
Who
that
would
tells
do
you
that
how
today?
not good they are because they should have dodged them things.
Yeah.
I mean, that just tells you how bad they are. That's not good at all.
They used to do that in westerns too. You know, like when the hero was hiding behind a rock, they would actually shoot the rock just so you could see the ricochet.
Yeah.
Like that movie with the Kurosawa movie with Mifune, or it wasn't Mifune. Who was it? It was he was. I can't remember. Huh?
It's all Greek to me.
Well,
It was
when he
Devo-
got they were shooting arrows at him by the thousands, you know, and they were all hitting and sticking into the wall, and he was running around, and they were still shooting at him. That was all real.
Yep. Those guys didn't play around, man.
They were like, "You run around and try to dodge these. We'll try not to hit you."
You get to have lunch.
They would never do
I'm
that
gonna-
today.
Well, Tom Cruise might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'm going to change the subject a little bit. I think it's a topic you will be interested in.
Uh-oh. You saying I'm not interested in talking about
No,
it?
I was looking at Wrightson the other day and looking at his Franklin Booth influence.
Yes.
So I was thinking about Franklin Booth, you know, who influenced Franklin Booth? Well, it was Gustave Doré.
Oh.
And so I was looking at Gustave Doré, and you know, I've looked at his stuff before, but I was just like staring at it. And that guy his name does not come up enough. I mean, that guy was nuts. I've
You got
got
stuff in pencil that's amazing.
I've got
Oh,
some
looking it up.
Dante's Inferno pieces. I'd
Oh,
like to
yeah.
pull up.
Yeah, pull them up.
Franklin Booth was a pen and ink guy,
Yes.
and he thought Doré was doing his stuff in pen and ink. Aaron,
Oh,
Share a screen.
he
Whoa.
thought Franklin Booth was doing stuff in pen and ink, and that's I'm sorry, the other way around. Franklin Booth thought Doré was a pen and ink guy. Doré did etchings in wood for
That's right. Yeah.
for prints. Look how creepy this is. I think this is Dante's Inferno. Look how creepy this is.
How do
And
you
this is
even
all
do that in wood? I don't even
Engraved in
understand.
wood so they could make prints. Look at these guys at the bottom that are like part of the tree. How creepy is that?
Look at it, Aaron.
I'm looking.
Yeah, is Aaron somewhere in there?
No. No.
I'm waiting for my head to
Going
show.
closer. I think Aaron's
I
back.
did want to
back
show
there.
I did want to show one more, and for some reason, I mean, just all the textures that he's getting here—the clouds, the boat, you know, the rocks, the flesh, everything.
Okay,
But
if you
for
were to-
some
wait a
reason,
minute, if you were to-
Google would
Gary,
only
if you were
send
to
me
vote-
a cropped version of this piece. I couldn't find the full picture, and I did a lot of searching, and I did find the entire composition.
Uh-oh. Yeah, and you are everywhere.
Yeah, Aaron. I think the reason why this was cropped is Aaron was like the first shadow band artist that ever got cropped out
In
of
history.
Well, the first edition of Art to Bear helped me on it. The first edition of Wraith of God was actually wood carved. It wasn't printed. So it was a lot of work. So I was doing everything I could to promote.
Yeah, Aaron is everywhere.
I was going to say, if you're in a boat with some naked guy who's driving the boat, I'd be sitting at the other end of the boat. I wouldn't be sitting that close to the naked guy like that guy was.
Hey, the proof's in the art, pal. Art doesn't lie. We've seen it.
Well, it is funny how guys have developed styles with misunderstandings about what they were looking at originally.
Yeah.
Like I know that Paul Bonner, who did all that.
It's pronounced boner.
Yeah.
Bonner. I'll see. He's an Irishman, and he does a bunch of those Wizards of the Coast, those Dungeons and Dragon type cards and illustrations for those games, trolls and things like that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And anyway, if you look at his work, you would swear it's oil painting, and it's not. It's watercolor. And I talked to him about it, and he said when he was a kid, he just saw these great oil paintings, and he didn't know what they were. All he had access to was watercolors, so he spent his whole childhood trying to get the watercolors to look like the oil paintings, and eventually he did, and now he paints with watercolors, and it looks like oils.
Wow.
Oh. Show us an example.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I can't quite picture it.
All right, I'll pull something.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I'm dubious.
I do this to myself because I'm the one that keeps bringing this stuff up.
Well, I mean, somebody said that like the gouache, one of the pieces I did here on Graybeards has kind of an oil quality, which I thought was interesting. That kind of made me think about maybe
quality. That's a different thing. They said
like
it has an oily quality. So
well, that's just because I'm oily.
yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Was that the Minotaur piece you're talking about?
Yeah. And then also we were talking about Lawless earlier. I think he gets an oil quality out of his color pencils.
But it's the surface he's working on that allows him to get that look.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Oh, look at this. Oh, now I'm looking at Paul Bonner artwork when I should be drawing. I love this guy's stuff. I was fortunate enough to meet him at the Spectrum show in Kansas City many moons ago. All right, you guys check this out. This is watercolor, believe it or not.
Not.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, it kind of reminds me of that Gustafson guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, Scott actually does use.
Yeah,
oil.
Scott Gustafson. Oh, he does use oils. Okay.
Yeah. These are watercolor, man. Isn't that just freaking awesome? Like the vibrancy of the color. I mean, he must be using stuff straight out of the tube.
Straight out of the tube.
Yeah, Kelsey, you don't know what that is. That's watercolors. Expensive ones come in tubes.
Oh, wow!
So you squeeze them out, and you can add water, and yeah.
So novel.
Yeah. So this guy actually has a book out. I would highly recommend it.
What does he? Does he work on movie stuff? Like, what does he do? Why?
Gaming art mostly.
Games. Okay.
He's a gamer.
Yeah, he's a gamer, all right. So anyway, there's a little shout out for the day.
Very cool.
Are you painting that?
Educate the masses.
Kelsey, are you painting the female in there last?
Yeah. Make sure I get everything just perfect before I do the hardest thing on the page.
He's trying to make us think he's like ahead of the game, but he's really saving the hardest bit for last. I mean, anybody can draw a silhouette. I mean, come on. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve after that. That's the thing. See, I started off with the girl, you know.
Just in case everything else fails.
Right. I got
At least
this.
you got that part.
Yeah, they've done so. So that people would, if it were a competition, might say that mine was the best. If it were a competition.
Just in case.
No danger of that. Don't worry.
Yes, clearly not. No danger.
Aaron, are you planning on coloring that?
Yeah, probably not today.
All right.
I'm going to color it. Kelsey's like made it that we can't even do a black and white piece in the show anymore.
No, black and white's fine. If you want to lose, it's okay.
You get driven right off the show with that kind of crap. That's all you bring is black and white. You kidding me?
I thought you came to play.
Yeah. Call yourself an artist? Jeez. A little afraid of color, are we?
This low effort business you got going on here. What are we doing here? See? You got to be coloring, see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great game. Yeah. Brady Copper.
Yeah, I agree with Kevin Wolf. He says Kelsey's pulled a Wallywood.
Oh, I have? What's a Wally?
They pulled a Wally Wood.
Kelsey, clean it up, man. What are you doing? Jeez.
This is not that
What?
kind of show, Kelsey. Keep it
Yeah.
clean. Quit playing with your Wally Wood.
Oh. Yeah. All right, I'm doing pretty good. I got time for a smoke break.
Okay, here we
I'll
go.
be back after a while here.
Okay. Good luck to you.
How much time do we have?
15 minutes.
Are you
No, we got
serious?
an hour. No, we got an hour.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. This took
He
longer
almost
than
had
I
a heart
thought.
attack. He was like, what?
What?
Like, what the hell has I been
Say
doing
the
for?
panic. I could hear
I
the
didn't even
panic
have my
in your
red
voice.
yet.
Well, I have such a sometimes a poor understanding of how much time I'm taking on stuff, and so that really caught me. I was like, wait, what? Like, surely it wasn't
Flies
that.
out the window. I can't take it.
Mm. Now, if I could just silhouette her, I'll be done.
Yeah, breaking the
Done.
layers rule.
I am gonna silhouette her kinda. What I want to do is have
What's a kinda?
a light. Well, because I want to have edge lighting this side from the desk. I got like a desk lamp here, and then she's got this window over here, adding this edge light over here. So you'd just be able to see her made out with just the lighting. Oh, yeah, show off. I ain't done yet. Let me see if I pull it off. Then we'll go with that. Show
Yeah,
off.
that sounds fantastic.
Mhm. Yeah, it's coming out okay, which means plenty of opportunity to ruin it.
You got people on the edge of their seat right now. It's like, wow.
Mhm.
What?
Kelsey's cheating. Pablo says, how am I cheating? This is expert level dodging a bullet. That's what that is. I'm like
Well,
the guy in the
you know,
Matrix. I'm like
these
Neo.
are legitimate professional techniques of how
Exactly.
not to mess up.
Oh no, how to get a page done in a day.
You
That's-
got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I need your expertise on how to get a page colored in a day. Though is what I'm
Oh
struggling.
no, that's the wrong person to ask for that.
No, I'm screwed. Okay, well,
I used to be so I had colorist friends that would be doing like 7 pages in a time that I'd do one. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, me? Give me a break.
Aaron, who was that DC penciler? He did E-Man for
Staten.
yes,
Oh, yeah.
Joe Staten. One of my first background gigs, inking backgrounds for another inker, was on a Joe Staten Huntress backup story, and Steve Mitchell was the inker, and he hired me to ink the backgrounds on Staten's everything but the figure of the Huntress. And of course, Steve was late. That's why he hired me in the first place. So I bring the pages in, and he's in the office at DC, and he sits down and he gets a marker out and he starts silhouetting all the huntress figures.
Oh,
I mean, they were like, there was a page of the huntress, swinging on a rope between buildings, several panels of her doing that, and he silhouetted most of those figures.
Wow.
It was
I
like,
would have
this will
found
be
that
time.
person.
And then, yeah, good thing Joe wasn't there in the office.
Yeah.
Whoo, man. I'd have to hunt him
I'm sorry.
down.
Who was the anchor that did this?
Steve Mitchell.
I know Mitchell.
He goes on the list.
He did. Oh my gosh.
So, like, he theoretically inked a page in about 15 minutes.
Wow.
Well, I mean, they put him in a bad spot, obviously, but still, that wouldn't even occur to me to do that. I mean,
Well, I could see doing it maybe with one figure, like one figure in one panel. He did it with 3 figures and 3 panels, and they're all the huntress, being
money shots, right?
Well, let me ask you: did Staten give it to him at the last minute? Did he have an hour to do the whole book?
No, it was just Mitchell, screwing around.
Oh no!
So it was not. It was the anchor's fault. It wasn't.
It was not Staten's fault, no.
Oh, Steve,
Telling you, boy.
do that to me, buddy.
Yeah. So talking about shortcuts.
Well, let me ask you. Here's something on the opposite end of the spectrum. Have you ever inked? What?
Sorry, I got ink out of this pen. It's working.
Hey, good job. That was worth interrupting my story. Yeah. No, I got a question for inkers out there, for you, Gary. Have you ever had an artist, like, you inked something and you're like, oh yeah, I nailed this. This is great. And then the artist, then you see it later and it's got all these other marks on it that the artist went in there and started inking over the top.
Oh yeah, Steve Rude used to do that to me all the time.
Man, and that
I look
wasn't
at a page.
And he's still alive? I mean,
I look at a page and I know I inked this page, but it doesn't look familiar to me.
There's another flip side of that, as I've had colorists color my art, and I like to leave, a la Art Nouveau, leave little gaps in the line. And colorists hated this because it forced them to actually flat it,
right,
instead of or just dropping the color into the line art or whatever.
Right.
And so I've had colorists, one in particular, go in and fill in all the gaps
in black.
Wow. So that they can just quickly paint bucket it.
Wow.
Yeah, there's just some really egregious crap going on out there that will not stand this aggression.
Well, my daughter was complaining about that when she's flattened some of my pages. How come there's a broken line here? I just jumped it.
Because I'm the artist and you're the colorist.
That's right.
Yeah, there's been lots of little things like that over the years that, now I look back on it, I'm like, that's funny.
That's funny how they.
That's funny that someone would be that dumb. But I don't know if Steve Rude did it. I don't know. I might not have a problem with it. It's Steve Rude. But I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. We might have come to blows. Now that I think about it, son of a bitch.
I've done that before.
Son of a bitch.
Gary. No.
No.
With me?
I don't think so. But I have gotten faces come back and where the anchor just missed the mark a little bit.
Was it like a studio situation where you had access to the pages?
No, this is I would get them when they returned them to me, and I would just fix them because they pissed me off.
Oh, after it was published?
Yeah,
When it was too late.
Yeah, but I'm now with the advent of computer technology, I can go in there and fix it in Photoshop if it's bugging me.
Yeah, but after the book was published and you're getting the original artwork.
Yeah, when I was working for DC or Marvel, I had no idea because I wouldn't see anything until it was, after it was
I like
published.
that. Just for my files, this is going to be correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show them.
Yeah.
No, but it's a piece of artwork, and doesn't it tick you off if it's not the way you want it or it looks the way it should?
That's every piece I do, Aaron.
Well, I suppose, but it's like, I don't know. Like if like someone would ink something and the eyes would look crossed, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, I did not see that, and you got to go back in and fix it. You're like, I can't, if this is going to go on my table for sale or something like that, it's like I got to fix it. So,
Hey, we're getting a lot of happy birthdays to Jimmy Reyes in the chat.
Hey, happy birthday, Jimmy.
Happy birthday, Big Jim.
It's my birthday too, actually.
To you.
It
Isn't
is.
it your birthday last week?
Just like last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Liar.
Well, happy birthday to you, Kelsey. Belated. I didn't know. Or I would
Thanks.
have,
I'm not going to say it until it's really his birthday.
You catch me next week. That'll be my birthday.
Yeah.
no, it was last week though, right?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Sure.
Justin side, I've answered that question before. You're just trying to cause trouble
What?
about why I'm not drawing.
Oh. Why aren't you drawing?
I don't wanna.
All right.
Pimps don't draw. I make you bitches draw.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Gustave Doré some more.
Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, share some more. What do you got?
Well,
Hold on a second.
when Gustav was very young,
You were good friends with him?
I tried. I wanted to do a pinup for Wraith of God, and he was.
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron, I got another.
By the time he carved it out of wood, it was like too late.
Aaron, I've got another Gustave. I want you to.
You need to quit interrupting me, Gary. I'm trying to get the hang of this pen, man. Okay, where is it? I'm waiting. I see nothing. Are you setting me up and letting Kelsey get?
Basically, he says, I got drawing to do. Hurry up, Gary. Uh-oh.
Hey, Aaron, are you doing this? Oh, I see it already.
Am I doing what?
Are you going to use that pen to do your painting like Finch?
I'm using it right now.
Oh.
So
I see something familiar.
yeah, this was a super creepy piece, and the more you look at it, like the dude.
Wait a minute.
Holding the dude, his own head just looked familiar to me.
Wait a minute. What's going on here?
The dude's holding his own head. He just looks familiar to me.
Well, that seems like another dude holding my head. Because
No, Kelsey, that's not you. That is.
oh wait,
that's
who is
not
this?
you.
That's
Kelsey.
a pretty small winky there, Kelsey. I'm just
That is
Uh-huh.
not Kelsey.
That's not Kelsey.
Oh, salty.
He's not really a big man, I could see.
Yeah.
Let's see, missing the gray in the beard. If it was
Yeah.
me, yeah.
Gustav.
Yeah,
Doré.
see?
He
Yeah.
was the man. He knew what he was doing.
He was ahead of his time, a lot of people said.
Yeah.
We still talking about me?
Sure, why not? It makes you feel better.
All right. What made me feel better is finishing this and succeeding.
Hey, I'm inking, so I'm right on your tail, so to speak.
Where's David at? He
He's still
quit
right
already?
I'm right
he's
here.
done with his penciling, so he's done for the day.
Oh.
He's claiming his lunch.
Oh man, that sounds good. Lunch.
You were supposed to eat before we went on. You didn't eat?
I did, but I'm still hungry. It didn't take.
Wow.
Didn't take.
Hey, Bigfoot hungers. He must be fed.
Yeah, my lunch didn't take. I need another round.
I love that. Yeah, my lunch just didn't take. Got to get a new one.
You're like
I
a
think you
hobbit.
could use that excuse for almost anything.
Yeah.
Say it didn't take. So, David, you're in my court today for going 50 and a 25. I'm sorry, Your Honor, the speed limit didn't take.
Yeah. I tried.
Okay, well, case dismissed.
I was thinking the same thing with like jury duty.
Yeah,
So you didn't show up for jury duty. I just didn't take.
it didn't take.
Really work for me today. And I'm hoping next time maybe it'll work out.
I actually got a summons for jury duty that I need to figure out how to get out of. How do you get out of jury duty? Anybody know?
Yeah,
Like
I
serious
haven't searched.
Say you're a Trump supporter.
I was just about to say, can I go in there wearing a bunch of MAGA stuff maybe?
Yeah.
You don't even actually
Get
have to
booted
go.
quick.
I've never served on a jury.
Did you tell them I'm not going to be there, or did they just not do it?
You have to have a complying editor to just send you like a form letter saying that your work is indispensable, and you send that in and you get excused.
Oh.
So like you have a deadline, a deadline situation, you can't just take off time.
All right, Aaron, I'm going to need a letter.
Okay, I'll.
So that's the cat.
Pages though.
Yeah, that's the cat. You have to have someone that can.
All right, here's this movie that Kelsey was in early in his career before he went to art. Bigfoot breeds with anything.
Wow.
Don't you want to see this movie?
That's how we propagate the species.
It's the most realistic, horrifying film ever. I don't believe that.
Wait till you see him breed.
Yeah, right?
Breeds with anything. So I'm thinking maybe that might be worth watching. Full of surprises, Kelsey is.
Now, you'll be surprised if you see me breed. That would definitely be shocking. Ah.
Like
There go to Edward G. Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson about to puke. Yeah.
You can get like this. You get a nice dry brush effect with this.
David, I've been waiting for the proper time for you to tell your baseball glove story.
And apparently now's the time.
Oh, no. Oh,
Please,
Oh,
please tell
no.
that story. The fireworks,
oh man.
please.
So, during when people do their fireworks, when I was younger, the kids would go out all through all the neighborhood and around the blocks and try to find the leftover fireworks that didn't get popped and stuff like that. And we would try to convert them into bigger fireworks and stuff like that, and makeshift fireworks, and take the powder out of them and do all this kind of stuff and find wicks and just,
The days before TV. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It was like a Little Rascals game. But anyway, my group that I hang with, we would collect baseball gloves, not the actual ones that you would catch, but the ones the batters would use. They would put on these baseball gloves, and you could buy these gloves from all the various teams that you liked. And I had the Angels, I had the Padres, I had the Dodgers, and the Dodgers was my favorite because it looked so cool and blah, blah, blah. And so I had this glove on, and we had our fireworks, and I had this firework in my hand, and I said, yeah, somebody like this,
Oh.
And they're like looking at me like, and I said, no, it's cool, I got this glove on.
Baseball, not like the
Yeah.
batter's glove, not like a
The batter's glove. Yeah, it's real thin. So, but I'm thinking it'll protect me from, getting burnt or whatever. And it was one of the small, Chinese fireworks, but it was more makeshift, so it had a little bit to it, a little bit more heft to the. So they're lighting it, and it's like it's counting down, and I'm holding it tight. I'm thinking the tighter I hold it, the better.
No.
And I have it. I'm holding it in my right hand, and this thing goes off, and my hand splayed open like this as it popped, like pow!
Wow.
And I could not close my hand for hours. It was like this the whole time, and that glove was shredded and all burnt and stuff. And I thought, I'll never be able to use my hand again. And I was like afraid to go home and show my my parents. I was just like, And the guys around, they were cracking up, thought it was the funniest thing ever. And my hand was just splayed like this for over an hour because a firework went off in my hand.
Kids are so mean. They're like, let's see you draw now, tough guy.
A valuable lesson, David. John, for $5 super chat. Thank you so much, John. If you take care of any family member, it gets you out of jury duty. I take care of handicapped sister, gotten out of jury duty twice now.
Oh, I take care of my mom. I can do that. All right. Yeah. Sweet. I definitely don't want to do jury duty. I can't think of anything more boring.
Good to know.
Unless you get a spicy murder trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know until you show up.
I did it once. It was all right. It wasn't all that bad.
Yeah, but it could easily turn into like 12 Angry Men or whatever, right? Like I'm never getting out of here because there's this one guy.
You're the guy, Kelsey.
I probably would be the guy. Well, I don't know. I mean, I have a reasonable doubt. Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. I'm actually just looking for a free hotel room and some.
Yeah, exactly. And do we get dinner with this?
Yeah.
Remember, you'll breed with anything.
Jury duty is a good opportunity.
That's right.
Can't waste an opportunity.
Motorcycles have to be wary, Bigfoot. I mean, you breed with anything. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure what's the most effective way to black in all of this. Are you just using India ink or using paint?
India ink.
Is that
like a
refillable, Aaron?
Yeah, this is refillable, yes. You buy the cartridges. I don't know what kind of ink there's in here. I don't even know if this is like permanent ink. I guess I'll find out, won't I?
Yeah.
Buyer beware. Is that what you're saying?
Use David's technique of just dripping it on there and see if that
works. Well, what I'll do is I'll spray it with that medium once it shows up. I ordered something off the internet. So I'll spray it and then I can paint over it. I don't have to worry about it. Famous last words.
Every time I've tried to use like a fixative or like a matte medium or something, it just never worked for me. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Sometimes things just work weird. I could have been using it wrong, but I doubt it. It's not my thing.
That couldn't be it.
No.
Everybody else can do it.
But he did it with an airbrush, you guys are saying?
Yeah, but he said that Sienkiewicz rolls them out with a roller. So
yeah.
I don't have a roller handy. I do have an airbrush, though. My mom got me for Christmas like 20 years ago. I started to crack it open, but now I'm going to.
You got an airbrush, but not a roller.
Well, they have airbrushes now that are like USB powered, which trips me out. I don't know if they're any good, but I kind of want to get one, try it out.
Yeah,
I've still got an air compressor downstairs, a little one made for the airbrush. So
yeah, the only problematic situation you might encounter with an airbrush is all that masking.
Who masks?
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about? I never mask. I got when I do splatter, I'm like, other panels beware. You know,
Come on, happy accident. Let's go.
exactly it, man. I don't got time for this masking crap. I'm already behind. I just start spraying the ink everywhere, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I do that too. But like, I've been wanting to get an airbrush for like just really large areas of flat, like a sky or something like that. I figure if it's a dominating color over the whole piece, you just mask out everything and just do it all at once,
Right. Yeah, but the masking takes longer than the painting.
Yeah.
To me, my biggest problem is with airbrush and stuff like that is cleanup, right?
Yeah.
That's why I oil paint more, is because I don't want to clean up the mess. It's like I don't mind painting, but then it's like you're done painting for the day and you're like, oh, now I got 30 minutes of brush washing and I got to clean up all this crap, and it's like, kills my motivation.
Well, that's I used to, when I was first trying out inking, you see all the things are repeatograph, so I got one of those, and it works very. I do too, but it works very similar to an airbrush, right? Because it's got that little pin in it, that little needle that I could never put back in there, and you have to clean it. You have to clean it all the time.
Yeah.
And I bent every one of my damn repeatograph needles. I'm like,
That's
never
why
again.
I quit using them. It's because it's like they clog like almost instantly.
Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah, they got like this like medium. You're supposed to soak those in. You stick like the tip, and it's supposed to soak them and clear. And it never worked.
Nothing beats just a good old fashioned brush.
Yep. You still got to clean that up too.
Yeah, but I just swish it in water. Call it a day.
I swish it in the black ink water, and it seems to be not working as well.
I know. Isn't that like the last thing you want to do is actually clean out your brush cleaning jar?
Yes.
The water I have, this is my brush cleaning jar.
Damn.
That's how lazy I am.
Oh my goodness.
That's the advantage. If you have a sink in your studio, it's awesome because you have to go into the bathroom to wash it out, or go downstairs to the laundry room.
I never go there.
Yeah, it's like too much effort.
Never go to the bathroom.
We have an interesting question in the chat. Comics for Life asking to all the panel, what was your most difficult comic book you worked on, finding it too challenging?
Oh,
I got two answers to that.
Yeah, you go.
Well, I did when I drew Amethyst for DC. Mike Marks talked me into shooting from my pencils because he would always like, he goes, I love your pencils, but when they get ink, they seem to lose something. It's like, what if we tried, you just doing the pencil stuff? We'll scan from your pencils, and we won't ink it. And see if we can maintain that whatever you've got going in your pencils.
What a sneaky way to save a buck.
Yeah, probably.
Ah, your stuff looks so much better in layout stage. We should just go from that.
Yep.
So, but the problem was, what I had to do was I did every page a lot like how David does. No, David's must have retired for today, but where you do this like layout on 11 by 17, 20-pound copy paper, and it's a fairly detailed layout. And then I would light table it onto the drawing board, so it was super clean.
Yeah.
Right. And oh my gosh, it was so much work. And on top of that, it was a brand new world universe. So everything that was in that book, I had to design it. And so, and every page they're like going into a new room, and you're like, okay, what does this room look like? And so that was incredibly challenging. And then Planet Hulk was challenging just because 50,000 soldiers stormed down the hill, and you're like, oh.
Silhouette time.
Yeah, exactly. So, but those are the two for me.
My worst one is that I don't remember the job. I completely blanked this out.
Doesn't say black.
It's so painful. This was the days when they FedExed the original pencil art to me to ink.
Mhm.
It would go to the letterer
Yeah.
and then to me to ink, and the pages got lost. So they sent me Xeroxes of the pencils to ink using vellum. And that, you know, so you're actually inking on tracing paper.
Yeah.
And the Xeroxes were really crappy.
Mm-hmm.
And because of all the, you know, mishaps, the book was late. So I had to ink on vellum as fast as I could, and you know, inking on vellum is not fun. It's not paper, so you know, you ink on it and the ink just kind of lays there, and you have to be careful.
Goes through it and smooths it all over the place.
Yeah, and white out on vellum is, you know, that can be tricky because it's just this big white blob that lays on this.
Well, and you've got crappy Xeroxes, so you can't really see the line work that great anyway. Then you're putting something cloudy over the top of it, and then it's like,
you're trying to see through it and try to figure out this is it was a nightmare. David,
no, huh? What?
Why am I talking? What do
I don't know.
What do you have on your table there?
Nothing.
You just so happen to be moving some stuff around.
Well, I'll tell you mine, which has a lot to do with David. So this will be a key.
okay.
Well, I got a lot. It's hard to pick, but this one in particular was David and I working on Authority. The Authority. You remember that? David knows this one.
Oh yeah.
So Keith Giffen is writing, which I love Keith Giffen. That's always fun to work with him. But the story was that you had all the Authority figures, and then you had duplicates. You had other versions of all the characters. So we're going along, and it's already difficult because David's having to draw all these various characters, and they're similar. So it's just tedious, and I'm coloring. Were you inking this, Gary? Were you inking this?
No, I
Who was inking this? Oh, you were inking that? Okay,
yeah.
That's right. So then we get all the way done with the first issue, I think. All the way done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm even done coloring, and we're getting into number 2. And the editor comes and goes, there seems to be a mistake. You've drawn all the characters wrong. So the ones that were supposed to be duplicates, you drew the real ones, and all the ones that were supposed to be the real ones, you drew the duplicates. Sorry, it wasn't clear. So the editor waits until we're done to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an easy mistake because it is hard to kind of keep them all together. Right. You know, the editor needs to be on deck to kind of make sure you don't get too far before you figure this out. So David's like, and they were like, you got to redo this. And David's like, see ya. He's like, not doing this. That's yours fault. I'm out. And I was like, well, man, I could do it. You know, I'm thinking this is my shot to do like some Authority. You know, I'm like, I can pencil stuff. I'm good. I can do it. So they gave me a shot. They were like, all right. So we had very little time left. And I was doing it digitally because I didn't have a scanner. I didn't have anything to do it by hand. So I was just doing it digitally, and I was doing it at comic book size because that's all my computer could handle. So 6x9, basically, not 11x17. So I'm turning in pages. I'm about halfway, maybe more than halfway done with the issue 2. After I went in and fixed the first issue, I went in and redrew all the characters to the right characters on the first issue, on the one David did. So I took his artwork and rearranged everything so the first issue worked. And then I went into the second issue, and I get about halfway done with that, and the editor comes to me and goes, by the way, Jim likes his scans of artwork at like 1200 DPI, not the 300 you're doing them at. You got to do them bigger. I'm like, well, these are digital. I'm drawing them at 300 dpi at comic book size. This is how they'll be printed. It's totally fine. They were like, well, no, Jim likes to have archival versions of all this stuff. So that's when I quit. Because I'm like, I'm not redoing half the book when you should have told me this before I even started.
Yeah.
And so this guy, I'm hoping he was fired shortly after that,
He
because
was.
this guy caused
I
so
doubt
much
it.
trouble.
No, he
I
was.
mean, that's typical of what editors do.
No, he was fired. He was.
Well,
Yeah,
probably
usually
but probably for something else.
No, it was for this project.
Usually, I would never call for a guy's being fired because it's an easy mistake, that first one. But here we are. This is like, this guy kept making mistakes over and over. Not even mistakes, just, what were you doing? This is your job. You out for a coffee? You completely ruined this book.
Yeah. Hank
Yeah,
Canals was a
Mike-
part of that. Hank Canals was a part of that, and he was supervising that editor. Like, he was over all of those guys with John Lee. And then Hank Canals told me that guy got let go because of this whole blunder.
Okay.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
my
that was
experience has
awful.
been that most editors don't edit. They don't even, rarely even look at the work.
So then the other horrible time I was with David. No, just kidding.
I'll tell you now, you won't believe this one.
David and I have a lot of horror stories.
Yeah, we do.
No, we all do.
But the
That's
thing
true.
is that we work great together when an editor's not involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you get a good one. Like Mike Martz. I enjoyed working with Mike. I worked. Let's see. Chris Rowell, oddly enough, at IDW, I enjoyed working with.
Yeah, he was cool.
I've had a lot of really fun editors. It's just the bad ones are the ones you really remember.
Right. You don't remember the good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do. They're just like, no, they were great. When people mention them, they were great. Oh, yeah. And what about this one? Oh, my God. Let me tell you.
Yeah, there's no like good stories about the good editors. It's just bad stories about the bad ones. I mean,
Right.
they're good, but I can't tell you.
Hey, Gary, read what Citizen Ronan just wrote. In an Edward G. Robinson voice.
Oh yeah. David was holding me back. See?
What, read it again?
Yeah, David was holding me back. See?
Yeah.
That's much better than I could do.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. It makes sense now. Stop using that voice.
This is my voice, see? Yeah.
I'm gonna do that with if I ever have another editor. And they're like, "Did you make this guy more blue?" And I'll be like, "Blue? Yeah. What do you mean blue? I don't know."
What do you mean change? Huh?
See, I'm not redrawing this. See? I'm gonna put the hit on you.
I did have one bad story that ended up well for me. Maybe not the editor, but Joan Hilty, who I worked with on Batman Adventures, who I liked working with Joan Hilty a lot. She was great, but she made a little mistake that ended up getting me paid twice because I did a whole cover, and they were like, well, at the end of it, they were like, oops, actually, we were supposed to have Nightwing on the cover, not Riddler. And I was like, oh. And I thought about it for like a second, and I'm like, well, I can't change him into Nightwing. That's a whole different cover. You're gonna have to pay for another cover. And she's like, well, I'll go to the heads and see. And she's like, okay, we got it. Do another one. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, there's a whole cover that's never been printed of Joker.
Wow.
For Batman Adventures.
I did when DC was doing Convergence, Dan DiDio calls me up and he says, hey, I need you to do this king size issue or something of this Convergence thing, right? He goes, now here's the plus. He goes, you get to draw practically everybody in the DCU, so these pages will be worth money. You'll be able to sell them for a lot of money. And I'm like, all right, what's the cap? He says, well, I think it was Joe Benitez, although I'm not sure if that's exactly who it was. He said he was supposed to draw it, and he drew like 2 pages and then disappeared. They never heard from him again. He wouldn't respond to any emails or anything. That was it, right? And so, and he said,
That happens more than you would think.
It does.
It does. I mean, being the Kelsey, I'm sure you know this, inker, colorist, where you get pages later and you're waiting for the pages and they just don't come.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, Aaron.
But there was more, because he's like, and he goes, we got a bunch of writers working on it, so things are kind of in flux. So he goes, it's going to be a pain in the butt, but it would really help me out if you could, do this. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. I mean, how bad can it be, right? So I get the first 3 pages done. They couldn't use the Benitez pages, obviously, because I draw it completely different than he does. So I had to redraw the pages. So I get the first 3 done, and then they decide they're going to change the villain, who happens to be on the first 3 pages. So I'm like, okay, so now I got to draw the pages where the panels and the page where the villain is, because they completely changed the villain. And
Wow.
so then we're going through, and every page was a double-page spread, right? So there was panels on those. They weren't just like big double-page spread, but it was cool. I mean, visually, it was very cool to work on, and you had all the, everybody from, Captain Marvel to Superman to different versions of Superman. And I mean, it was a lot of fun in that regard, just to draw, but they kept changing the script, and I had to keep redrawing pages. And then there was this scene where Warlord gets killed by this dude, the bad guy. And they have his wife, the savage chick or whatever she is, kills the guy. And they're like, nah. They go, we need a bigger character to kill this guy. We can't have her killing him. So I'd already drawn the page. I'm like, all right. And so they go, I think we need to have Green Lantern kill him. And I'm like, well, Green Lantern's not even in this. And so
Wow. Well, we're gonna have to.
He wasn't in the story.
No, and but we found a part where he could conveniently show up.
Just to kill that guy.
Yeah, pretty much. And
hey, I don't like him.
So crazy.
It's like galactic threat. It's just that Green Lantern hadn't appeared yet, so he could just show up, help the team out, right? We're in big trouble with this guy. And it was just like that through the whole book, We finally got it finished, and but I did, when they came in after I'd redrawn a page, or when I draw a page and they said, oh, you got to change it, they did pay me.
Okay, good.
To do the new, because it was on them, right? It wasn't me. And so, I mean, it did work out, but it was like a deadline nightmare. And you got a book that's like all double page spreads, so you want it to look as cool as possible, but then at the same time you're like, yeah, that's late. So it was challenging, but I knew it was coming when I agreed to do it. So I guess it's not as bad as if you don't.
But
think
you didn't know how bad it was going to be,
right? I mean, but when the editor in chief, publisher calls you and says, it's going to be bad. No,
you're not going to like this.
You're not gonna like it, but you'll have some really cool pages when you're done. All right. Took one for the team. But it actually was, I mean, just for like a big superhero fight issue, it was kind of fun. But it was a real pain in the butt, man. Especially when you nail a page, right? And they go, okay, we just changed the character, so you have to redraw this whole thing, and he's doing something different. And you're like, oh, this page is so awesome, and now it's different.
I was going to mention that every job I've ever had where I've had to like correct it and do something different or change colors. There's so many times where there's like, oh, we need to do like a different color here. It never is as good as that first impression where you're, that first instinct to do a thing. And then like, like I'd have, I colored Ed McGuinness on like a She-Hulk cover. And, this is funny too, because I found out they printed it anyway. But they told me, no, we don't need or we I had like a hot red background or something, and they were like, well, we already had one with that. Yeah, my stock red cover. Yeah. No, but it was like an orange. It goes really great with the green. It made her really pop.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were like, well, we just had this with another cover. Can you change it to something else? And like the only thing that would work where she would pop was like a purplish pink color. You know, it's the only thing I could get that looked anywhere close to anything interesting. And it was okay, but it just didn't, it was just weird. It was weak. And years later, like last year, I found out they printed that cover anyway. They printed both of them. I only got paid for the one.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, so hey, stories abound. We can do this all day. Great stories of the mainstream.
Yeah, I'm editing in my head which stories to tell and which not.
Yeah. Yeah, some are not. I will never see the light of day. They're just really bad.
My favorite editor story is that I was working on Death of Hawkman, and they kept changing editors. I think I ended up with 3 or 4 different editors through a 6-issue miniseries.
Wow.
And the writer kept changing the script a little bit here and there, but I had to do the covers like, you do them 3 months ahead or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so they said, okay, on issue number 5, Hawk Girl's going to show up and blah blah blah. So I do the cover with Hawk Girl prominently featured on the cover, and by the time the script rolls around, which is months later, I'm drawing the issue, and I'm like, wait a minute, Hawk Girl isn't even in this, and she's on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So, and by this time we'd had our 3rd or 4th editor on the book, right? So the guy had no idea what was going on, right? He was just trying to get the book out. And so I call up DiDio and I'm like, Dan, I go, this cover I did 3 months ago has Hawk Girl on it, and she's not in the issue. He's like, yeah, what are you going to do? So I'm watching people react on social media when they see the cover. Oh my gosh, Hawk Girl, we can't wait, because she'd been like dormant for a while, and there's like this big, Hawk Girl show up.
You're having to hold your tongue like, oh.
I know. And then the book comes out, and everybody's just so pissed at me, and I'm like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not the writer. It's
yeah. And I called the writer, and he's like, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, I forgot about that. It was going to be this dream sequence, and then I just left it out.
wow.
I could see them blaming you, Aaron. It's like they think I'm going to draw Hot Girl on this if you like it or not.
Yeah. Oh, why would you put her on the cover if she's not in the book? I'm like, I was just doing what I was told. Leave me alone.
But that's, you think DC, they're professional and they have their act together. It's fractured flickers.
Well, one of the questions I often asked Dan DiDio was, Dan, why am I editing my own book? He was just like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They had some not great editors there for a while. Well, they really don't now. But
what do you mean for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't necessarily want to throw anybody under the bus, but jeez.
Yeah. What do you? Is there an editor that you would have liked to work with, like someone in the old school, like? I
worked with the best, Archie Goodwin.
Archie.
Yeah, Archie.
I never actually, I met him once briefly, and I never got to work with him. He's a guy I really would have liked to work with.
Len Wein was really good with me.
Len Wein,
really
yeah.
With him, yeah.
Who was?
Len Wein.
Oh.
No shooter stories? Anybody with a shooter story?
Yeah, I got a shooter story.
Yeah. I got your shooter story.
Yeah, but it's not an editorial with him as a writer. He wrote, when I came over to DC, I was supposed to take over. Initially, I was supposed to do the Power Girl series.
Yeah.
And it was about that time that Terry Dawson decided to leave Wonder Woman. And so they were like in an editorial meeting, and I'll blame Mike March for this because Power Girl obviously was a huge success and launched, help me out. Who's the artist that drew?
1,000 Ships. No.
Jimmy Palmiotti's wife, like Amanda Connor.
Oh, Connor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, time out, Aaron. I'm going to interrupt you. Dale A says these artist types are real complainers.
That's what we do. It's our second best skill.
Yeah. But so anyway, the Power Girl stuff wasn't ready yet. So they gave me a Legion issue to do. Now, this Legion story was written by Jim Shooter. He was writing Legion at the time. And I had never drawn Legion before, so I was unfamiliar with all the characters. I had to, piles of reference because there's like a million characters, right? And so I get this script from Shooter, and it's a 22-page story, right? The script was 66 pages long.
Wow.
You want to talk about verbose? I mean, Judas Priest. I was like, reading a
Judas
freaking novel, and I was like, can we just get to the point? And,
Led Zeppelin.
Mothers, cover your children's ears.
So I thought I did a pretty darn good job on it, because it was just like it was so dense, and you'd have like sometimes 9-panel pages and people fighting on 9-panel pages, and you're just like, so I was combining some stuff, trying to make it, more visually, and I thought I did a really nice job on it, and so I guess later, and I never talked to Shooter, but apparently he did an online interview someplace, and someone brought this to my attention, like, the people that chat always do, right? They'll let you know. And it was like, yeah, did you see what Shooter said about you? And I don't remember specifically what the quote was, but they asked him about me and working with me on this Legion, and he goes, apparently said something to the effect, well, Presti, don't get me started on that guy. That was, that's something similar to that line was delivered.
I'm sure we all have that. Somebody out there with that story about all of us. Oh my gosh, David, don't get me started about that guy. Oh, Kelsey, oh God, don't get me started about that guy. We all got that. Gary, now Gary's all right. Everybody likes Gary.
Yeah.
I've got
except for me. Don't get me started about that guy. Yeah.
So, but I was like really sort of ticked off. I was like, that script was so difficult, and I worked so hard on that. It was my first DC job, so I wanted to knock it out of the park. And I was like, that's your reaction? Seriously? Don't send me a 66-page script then.
Squib says Aaron taking Legends off wherever he goes. That's going to be on your tombstone.
I know. The most disliked man in comics. Or least remembered or something.
Who's the least remembered? I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, like
Hold on a second. I've got an impression to do. Citizen Ronan says, that Gary guy was holding me back, see?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, I couldn't. Scale of 1 to 10, that was a 3.
This Gary guy.
And when I heard that, I automatically thought back on like, what would have been like working for him at like Marvel or Valiant when he had like total complete control, or what was that other Broadway comics or something he did after that?
That didn't
No,
last
but
very long.
I personally think it would be easy. All you got to do is draw the most boring, feckless comics you could possibly think of. Straight panels, everybody's eye level. Oh man, that job would have been so easy. I phoned that one in.
Might be on something here.
Yeah, when that is thing, I'm like, I'm putting on all this effort to make cool looking pages, and you don't have to with Jim.
Well, he was
an easy
notorious
job
for making corrections after
Oh,
what was done. After it was inked, after it was lettered.
oh
Then
no, that's
then
no good.
production would have to go in and white out panels and just crazy stuff like that.
Oh, that's no good. No good.
But I mean, you have to admit that stuff that came out of Marvel in the '80s was actually, really good. But it's like hardly anybody had anything good to say about the guy. It was like he nearly killed Zek on Secret Wars, and Byrne hated him, of course.
Well, Byrne hates everybody.
That's true. That's true. But I wonder, because Simonson, on the other hand, I guess this is a good question to ask Walter.
Well, everybody likes Simonson, so it's exactly the opposite.
What he was doing on Thor was like about as untraditional as you can get.
Yeah.
So it's like, how did he get that by Shooter?
Good question.
Maybe, because maybe Shooter was just like, oh, it's Walter Simonson. He can do whatever he wants. But it's hard for me to imagine Shooter saying that about anybody.
Craig Smith says, I still have the Wizard issue 200, in which they have Shooter as the 4th ranked controversial person in comics.
Who's number 3?
Yeah, who are the other one?
That Rigel guy.
Yeah, Rigel Martin. Yeah, old Rigel Martin. I remember him.
Well, you got to figure McFarlane's on there, right?
I can talk about that guy.
Frank
wait.
Miller.
Yeah, Craig, do you know who 321 are?
I would guess, though, it's got to be Frank Miller and McFarlane, right?
Richie Cyber, hold on a second. Richie Cyber Dupe says, Kelsey is a silhouetted figure. Shane Davis.
I don't know. Does it look like Shane Davis?
Yeah, it does.
It kind of does.
It's
got the overbite. Isn't that what you call that?
Yeah, underbite.
Underbite. I never heard of that. What's an overbite?
Overbite is if your top teeth go
like
over your bottom, and an
buck teeth,
underbite is when your bottom.
But
goes over
everybody
your
says
top.
that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and where you're from, Kelsey, it's called buck teeth.
Oh. Hillbilly teeth. How dare you? It's hillbilly teeth.
He said, "Oh, I understand that." Thanks.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's like, what?
I'm doing my best to ruin this. Hurry up and finish already.
Yeah, what's the time situation?
David just quit. He's just like, just look at my other stuff. Just let the Robin Hood sit here and pencil.
What are you talking about?
Crap.
We got like 3 minutes left here.
Just found a mistake.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes, Dougie Fresh.
Well, 7 minutes. We started at 1:38. We started drawing, so we have 7 minutes left. David, can you get that ink in 7 minutes?
Yeah, I already inked this other piece instead.
Yeah. Changed your mind?
Yeah.
I don't
Vic,
know why
Going with an old piece. I knew
Nick
it.
in the chat, I get that a lot.
I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. It's like, just draw a single character. But no, it always ends up being a couple, and then they're riding around in a Jeep by Michael Golden, and you're like, thank you. Then Kelsey's over there putting in his red paint on it. Yeah.
Kevin,
I got
Kevin
straight
Thomas.
black and white here.
Kevin Thomas says Aaron was the most controversial. So controversial they didn't even bother to tell him.
They were like, controversial number one. Yeah, you know, who is that? That one guy, you know, what's his name again? The guy that
Lopez something?
Lopez of the Jungle? What's that all about?
Of the jungle.
I don't
I like how he embellishes. Who's that guy? Aaron,
Yeah.
Super Hot.
Yeah, expanded
Man.
his mythology.
Surely that's what they were saying.
That
Yeah.
totally awesome guy of the jungle who did all those incredible deeds. Who was that guy?
No, the reason I said that is because I put that on my my name plaque sometimes. Lopez of the Jungle, Return of the Man Called Lopez. Yeah, you got to come up with new titles for the.
Oh man, I just thought of a great opportunity I just missed. I should have put my name on the nameplate on the desk. But I didn't give myself room. That would have been
Well, you've got 5 minutes if you want to start over.
great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't need to stand up.
Hold on a second, you mobsters. We got an update from Craig Smith about the most controversial. McFarlane, Frank Miller, John Byrne, Mark Wade.
Oh, that makes sense.
He said Shooter was fourth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. What's wrong here? Yeah.
You imagine somebody tuning in like, what the hell?
Yeah, we're drawing comics, see? Nah.
Harry keeps telling me the show is so great. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. That's why it's so great. Don't know what you're going to
Because it's so stupid.
You know, I'm not sold on this brush pen. It seems I'm having a hard time getting a consistent flow.
Okay, here come the disclaimers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Call it a-
It's not too late to change pens.
Well, I have been actually changing pens because it was cool when I wanted to dry brush, but now I want, you know, a solid black line. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the flow, man. Whoa. I'm probably using it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I bought 3 of them, so I could like crack it open, and if I had trouble with it, kind of, you know, work my way through it until I actually found out how to actually use it correctly. Because now I'm wondering if I was supposed to take out that little Pac-Man dude.
Aaron,
Back to
is her headdress going off the top of the page?
Yes.
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 Yeah, see? I meant to do that, see?
Who are you to tell me? See?
I know what I'm doing, see? Yeah.
That's right. That's the way I planned it.
While I'm at it, somebody in the chat asked if those were fishes on her chest.
You know, I used a reference from our good friend Alex Raymond, and that's what he put her in. So that's what I'm using. I assume they're supposed to be what passed for space age bikini in the 1930s.
Yeah. David, what are you showing here?
Nothing.
Better work than he did today. That's what he's.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look at that.
Very cool.
What is that for?
When I was going to do a Batman story, I was just testing out styles. I was going to do this really high contrast and not do contour lines and all this kind of stuff to see if it would work. I don't know. Never had.
Yeah, like Batman Black and White.
Yeah. Well, I never got offered, but I was trying to get in because I saw all these Batman Black and White artists that sucked, and I wanted to get in. And I said, how come the guy who loves Batman the most can't do one of these?
All right, yeah, you brought up a good topic. Let's talk about Batman Black and White.
I like stealth freezes.
And
There were some mind-blowing
I
stories.
only like Kevin Nolan's,
Nolan's
the
rock.
Kevin
Brian
Nolan
Baldwin,
story.
and Brian's.
I would qualify Nolan's Batman story as a perfect comic book story.
Yeah.
Kevin Nolan's? Yeah,
Yeah.
Jan Stronad wrote that too.
Yeah,
His
It was
partner in
just
crime.
flawless in every respect.
Yeah.
And then on
The
the
lettering's
opposite
so
end of the
good.
scale, there was some really bad choices that made it into that book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well,
not
that
going to
one-
name names, but there was like, what the hell is this doing in this comic book?
That one issue, though, that's the one issue I still go back to because it had Brian Boland, Kevin Nolan, and Stelfreeze, and Katsuro Otomo from Akira, all in one issue. It's like, holy cow!
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I liked Bisley's thing that he did with, was it Gaiman wrote that?
Yeah, Gay Man. But it was like it was them. It was so stupid though. Like I want to see Beasley like ripping up bad guys, and doing this stuff. And it's like a couple guys in a waiting room getting ready to do a movie or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, that's
Yeah,
not
He's
Beasley.
mocking the whole thing, and nobody's in there for that.
Yeah.
But it just made me wonder how they could make brilliant choices in some of the great stuff that was in there and make the same opposite, lousy choices as well. There was no, it's like anybody could be in it except David.
Yeah, right.
Well, it makes me wonder
Stelfreeze.
because that was Chiarello. Oh yeah, look at that.
Book, yeah.
Oh, Aaron, you have a super chat.
Well, anything to take me away from the drawing boards. I'm trying to finish this within the. We're a minute over.
I mean, look at this, Chi. You could have had me on black and white stuff. Black and white guy.
Vic IP for $1.99. Thanks, Vic. Vic is notorious for sending me super chats that make no sense, and this is no different. Young Clint Eastwood, not the one from the Mule.
Oh, I know what that means.
Vic is following up on some other comments he made about Clint Eastwood earlier in the chat.
Oh,
Who made comments about Clint Eastwood?
Vic,
inside joke.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't watching. All right, Vic, I apologize. Apparently your super chat does make sense to somebody, just not to me. But I thank you for it. I always encourage it.
All right, I think I'm done.
Scott Eastwood makes Gary look as old as Clint. What is going on here?
I don't like Scott Eastwood.
yeah, I don't either.
I want to. Like he has the look. Like I think he's got a movie star look.
But he doesn't have the talent.
No charisma whatsoever.
Right. He was saying he wants to be Wolverine. I was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, appearance, he's a little too pretty for Wolverine, but he definitely has the look for it. Just nothing else there.
David, did you show something?
Nope.
Pretty old?
No.
Does that piece go back?
Some Jaguar stuff?
Like
What do you got?
very Art Adams-ish to me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to have to rewind the broadcast.
I am still probably a good 30 minutes from being done, so I'm not going to drag this on forever.
Let me see. Hold on a second. There's a magazine advertisement for Uggs on David's table.
Well, yeah.
I don't know what you're saying.
That's
I love how David takes all the time to share this stuff, but he won't finish the artwork he's supposed to finish.
Oh, he's still not done with that. He started that years ago.
Yeah.
It's very
No,
cool.
that was inked by Art, right? That one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who inked it? Arthur
It
Adams?
sucked.
Yeah, Art Adams. Yeah. And colored by moi.
Well, no wonder you love it.
Yeah. It's the best, especially the color version.
Yeah. It's the
Oh,
best,
weird.
man.
What's going on with it? He's got like giant diapers on. What is that? Is that a loincloth or? Oh, wait, I see the crotch indication of the crotch. Let me do my patented.
Crotch.
Ah. Actually, I'm borrowing that from Shane.
You're never impressed with anything except your own work. That's nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, David, we're all wondering when you're going to spend some time on the drawing table.
Right.
He does when he's redesigning Batman and Wonder Woman.
He just has piles of work just at his fingertips.
He's just, it's just, we're not good enough for David to waste too much time.
Oh my gosh. Can I have that?
Yeah, I want that. Tear it out, please.
See, you guys do sketchbook stuff too. It's not just me.
This ain't no freaking sketchbook. This is just on random pieces of paper. Told you I got like
It's a stack
12,
of paper.
12 boxes full of this stuff.
Well,
So you're not going to miss one.
I should do a show in New Mexico so I can go and
Yeah.
files.
I'm going to come visit David. I'm going to keep all my clothes in boxes that look just like his boxes of art. I'm going to leave with boxes of art and leave my clothes.
Yeah.
Trade in a pile of stocks for.
You'll never
It'll take
know.
like 6 years before he opens it up again. So
Yeah.
you'll be long.
Or the next episode of this show, probably. Wow. Yeah, man.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up, I guess.
I'm still waiting on my my dragon wing.
Everybody is.
I know you got files of that stuff.
Gary has some stuff.
Yeah, I've got Dragonwing.
Gary, give them to me. I want some. I've been waiting. Let me see. Let me check my watch. 30 years.
That's an old watch.
I remember seeing an ad for that in Caliber Press in Caliber.
Yeah, I inked some of it, and some of it I didn't ink when it slowed down, and I still have it.
Oh man, want it?
Wow, I haven't seen that in a long time. Oh, I inked that one.
Yeah.
Look at this.
What was that? Was that a
Look
cover?
at David putting that cursive line weight in the pencils on her thigh.
He's like, "Good luck, Gary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Follow this, sucker."
Yeah. Do that in one swoop.
Hey, man. Oh wait, look at Dragon Wing.
Look, there's
Oh,
man.
jeez. Ah, look at that.
Yeah, I inked that one.
Oh man. I got that spotlight. I actually clipped that out of the
Oh, you did?
previews. Yeah. I don't know if I
Harry
still got
Potter.
it. But... Hey,
It's Harry Potter.
Harry. You'll
Hello.
visit Harry.
I love that Spider-Man Rhino. Did you ever finish that?
Yeah. It was for like a 1 minute later commission
Oh,
off of a Spider-Man cover.
okay.
David, you realize you're giving Aaron time to draw.
Yeah. It's okay. It's all
Now
good.
I pulled the pen. I said it's over. Game
Oh, you
over.
did?
Game
Pencils
over.
down.
All right.
right.
Let's see what we've got.
Let's wrap this up. Give me my prize.
All right. We'll start with me.
Yeah. I can see that's almost there. Almost.
Well, I didn't have to pencil her face and her arm there in the little ray gun, but there's Dale. What's her face?
I don't
Arden.
remember her ever dolling up like that.
Well, you didn't read enough of the scripts, Gary. So
That's cool. Good Ming face.
Dale is looking saucy. Ming is not happy. Not happy at all. So, yeah, we're going to throw some color on this. A lot of red, probably.
Does she have fuzzy slippers on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Getting
you.
right at home on Mongo. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm right off the page, man. I was looking for a saucy costume for her, and sure enough, found one. There you go. added the little wrist bracelet here. That's me.
Got the
But the
curlers in her hair, the fuzzy slippers on. She's ready for
Yeah.
bed.
That's kind of Deja Taurus-like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of.
Which came first?
That's a good question.
Well, Deja
Dale
Force,
Arden.
right? Well, maybe not. When was Princess of Mars? It was probably 1930,
It was in the
1920.
30s, right?
Yeah, I think it was the 30s. So he might have been very close. There you go. Anyway, so there's a saucy babe of the day. I could contribute. I will get that done, and let's see what Kelsey has to offer.
Oh, what do I got? Ta-da!
Oh my gosh!
Got nice film noir. What was this guy's name?
Rip Kirby.
Rip
Time
Kirby. Yeah, he's
Ooh,
walked
you got some
in.
sauce? You got a little sauce in the
Got
back?
a saucy lady.
Yeah.
I don't know why she's removing her clothes to get him to do a job, but she's also holding a gun just in case he doesn't, in case he's gay or something.
That's right.
No,
Covering
no.
your bases.
But let me zoom out.
The Gordox Pub says Princess of Mars was 1912, so that would have predated Buck Rogers.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Kelsey, your technique of doing the background and the foreground and everything, and then doing the figure, I was skeptical, but you you hit this out of the park. This is very cool.
Yeah. Her face is a little like sketchy.
No, I like the attitude
No,
a lot.
Dude, for what that looked like, I thought, how is he going to get that girl in there? I thought this is not going to work, and he did.
I look at this. I even got. We were talking about Jim Shooter, and I put him in the wall in the background there. In a picture. Yeah.
We should have been talking about somebody else during that. Did we talk about Sophia Loren while you were doing
Yeah.
Oh my god, the amount of detail in here is really phenomenal. He finished. Now let's take a look at someone who didn't finish.
No.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I actually misplaced it.
Oh my gosh!
It's in a stack.
Yeah, it's in the stack.
I gave it a pair of concrete shoes, man. Yeah.
Come on,
Deep
Well,
man.
sixth.
Let's
You
see your
guys
third
could
place finish.
rewind the tape and look at it.
Oh, gosh. Come on.
I really can't find it.
Oh.
Gosh,
Oh man,
the greatest ending in show's history.
the dog ate
It
it.
was good. Come on.
I'm being 100% serious. I can't find it.
What do you guys
When
think?
I was going,
Isn't that awesome? Look at that.
I'm looking through my stack that I just had. I was just like, wait a
Let's
minute.
see. Pablo Romero Art says disqualified for Peasy's. Geez, David.
Kick David, I'm seeing.
Kick
Yeah.
David. There it is. Wait a minute. Let's kick David. Oh, wait a minute. Henry Jeremick says Errol. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
David's
prove
done
it.
this before. David's done this before, says.
Yeah.
I never did this before.
These are David's old tricks coming home to roost.
Richie Cyberdupe saying, "Find David 50. You owe the chat 50. All of them. Each one."
Kevin Wolf and like Flynn.
They want their money back.
Art of Roy apparently has a photographic memory, says it's in the second stack with Black Canary.
Oh, it is?
That's what he
trying
says.
He knows where it is.
He's looking through your window right now. That's
I know, right?
Phantom Harlock says, is David high?
A little.
Matt Downey, it's stunning, says Matt Downey.
stunning. Yeah. Look. How does he win? He doesn't even have anything on his table. He still wins.
He's
Yep.
going the Gene Colan technique of
Thank you, Frankie. Next
Drawing.
week, Captain Blood. Oh,
Yeah,
Oh
in a
my
snowstorm like this one.
yeah, it's fog.
That's crazy.
George LaCour says, quick, David, disorient them with the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to. I'm
Yeah,
about to.
turn on the lights.
Fail.
He's gone full
You
modern
fail.
art, says Thank you, Frankie.
Oh, sheesh.
Squib says, Kelsey takes the gold. Sorry, everyone. It's not a competition, but thank you for weighing in on that.
Yes, not a contest.
If it, Skullmaster says, if it was a contest in minimalism, David wins.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. So there you have it. Throw a gas pellet. I'm not sure what
So
that means.
they're giving David a harder time for losing his artwork after
Yeah.
drawing it than
How
giving
do
me
you
for not doing
lose
anything.
artwork when you don't even leave your drawing table?
Yeah, but then I'm not getting any flack for just sitting here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody knows that. You haven't attempted to draw anything, Gary. So
Man, you lost the show and your artwork. That's a double fail.
oh
This is the
my
craziest
goodness.
show ever.
Yes, Chip says we have to draw David's piece of art using our imagination.
Yeah.
I bet if we
guys.
rewind the broadcast,
There you
David is like sitting in front of a blank piece of paper the whole time.
Right?
It actually doesn't exist.
Oh man, it's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I was never here. There's no David Williams.
What are you talking about?
It's
All
a
right.
madhouse, a madhouse.
That was an easy one.
Brian Smith says $0 confirmed.
Confirmed.
I got $100 for it, but I think I left it in your stack of artwork. You'll have to find out.
Dad Stand of Pop Culture says it's a madhouse, a madhouse. Of course, referring to Planet of the Apes and the late great Charlton Heston. Oh, things are dropping here. My personal rival Ellie Munoz says negative $50 confirmed. So you're now
Oh,
actually
you owe
over
him
money.
$50?
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe we'll see it next week.
Yeah.
Creative Face says, "Come on, David, I finished mine and I'm not even on the show."
How embarrassing.
Henry Termick is begging for Star Trek villains next week.
Ooh. Star Trek villains, Star Wars villains, and Battlestar Galactica villains.
Star Wars will win. I don't want to draw Star Wars.
Oh, that's true.
Is it my turn to pick next week? I think it
G.I.
is.
Joe villains.
Yeah. Oh, that means guns and like tech. We're back to the Liefeld thing with drawing pouches and stuff.
What? It's your pick? Are you going hard?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll think about it. I'm not going to do anything as old as Gary suggested this week, though. I'm going to go.
Damn.
I'm going to look at more of a youth movement. But anyway, guys, that is the show. Despite the fact the big letdown by David Williams at the end. Sorry about that.
I like how you apologizing for David. Sorry that David didn't come through this
He
week.
lost his drawing. I got to say, if it were a competition today, Kelsey would win. That's a pretty phenomenal piece of work, actually, to get finished on the show. So I tip my hat to you, and I am wearing a hat, so I can do that.
I had time to color it even.
Oh my gosh! Shut up! Shut up. Well, you'll probably color it off screen, and we'll see it next week, no doubt.
No, it's kind of film noirish. I might just leave it like this.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think you should color it.
Yeah.
Film noir. See? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. You've been watching Graybeards Studio. It is the best draw stream on the internet, and this is oh my gosh, before we go, let me do some advertising real quick if you guys don't mind.
Gary.
No, it's true. I got these things saved and I didn't even bring them up. Loser. We all have campaigns. You'll find the description or the link to the campaigns in the description of this video. Of course. Of course.
I just imagine you talking.
We've got Wraith of God Blood Hunters. If we get to 150,000, we're knocking on the door there, folks. We get another freebie, which is a bookmark with all new art that's already done. So you can
Dore approved.
It is. It's been approved. And so then we also have our own where is it? Sorry, I should have been more prepared for this. Kelsey Shannon scribbles book on Funmycomic.com. We're knocking on the door of 20 grand there, folks. Let's push him over the finish line.
Yeah, look at how close.
Let's get that little Presty bump.
This is like 200 pages, right, Kelsey, or something crazy like that?
200. I'm wrapping it up right now. We're talking about printers and stuff and shipping and all this stuff. So it's going to be going out real soon.
Excellent. And Wraith of God will as well within probably the next 3 weeks or sooner. We have Gary's book that's still in the sign-up stages, but will be launching soon.
Update. Aaron, you hooked me up with Printer Rep, and I got a hold of her, and wheels are in motion.
Excellent. So I assume
I have to say she's very enthusiastic, and she had a lot of good things to say about you, surprisingly.
Well, the people that don't know me that well,
no matter how much I tried to.
No, you're wrong about him. It's not good.
Yeah. So that's the first step for me is to get some estimates, and so it's we are off and running.
Okay, and I assume we'll be launching on this channel during one of our Graybeards episodes for you.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. So you guys follow the link. You can take you right there to sign up for this. It's just early sign up yet, but you want to make sure you get on the mailing list for Gary. And then finally, I dumped. Sorry, when David made me go to Twitter to get his artwork, I lost my Bass Reeves.
A lot of loss in this episode.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, everything's disappearing that David's associated with. We'll be next. But the link to his campaign on Indiegogo is in the description of this video for Bass Reeves West of Hell. It's also not shadow banned, so you can actually find it, unlike mine.
Yeah, and while you're looking for David's link, see if you can find his artwork while you're at
it. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This has been Graybeards Studio. Like I said, it is the best draw stream on the internet, and we owe it all to you guys. So thank you so much. We thank you for the super chats. Thank you for participating. You guys really make the show. So have a great week, and we will see you guys right here next week at 1 o'clock Pacific time on Graybeards Studio. Bye-bye, everybody.